live. I thoroughly doubt most people are going to be up to like watch this stream live, but you know.
You will never know.
What do you mean? It's nighttime, right?
That's true.
Everyone's gonna stay in on the muggy, hot Saturday night.
The New Zealand audience is fucking huge.
We're locked in. All three of us are tuning in.
Yeah, so we are back for the year in review 2024. Ayo.
Yay.
What a year.
What a year.
What a year, Captain.
I've seen that Tintin meme already. Again, it's like, oh, what a year. Captain is January.
It's been decades since 2024.
Yes.
Yeah, those weeks where decades keep happening. I wonder who said that. He's kind of been in it.
I hate living through once in a lifetime events every month.
Yeah.
They're just piling up, aren't they?
But don't be grateful. Be smiling. You got to live in the same time period as.
As what?
What?
Metropolis.
Oh god.
Oh.
Are we already going in with this piling up? The Coppola, the Megalopolis.
I mean, we don't usually start, but I couldn't help myself.
I quit this movie after I think 10 to 12 minutes. At the exact point where the
Megalopolis, sorry, it's called.
Megalopolis,
right.
sorry. Where the architect describes his new casino project, while there's also an incest plot in the back happening between a brother and a sister, and then Adam Driver walks up and does the Hamlet soliloquy unprompted. And I thought to myself, no.
That sounds like something I would see through to the end.
I'm so eager to see this film. Everything I've seen from it seems very funny. I am planning to watch it with friends at the moment. This little clip has like lived in my head.
Oh yeah.
I'm glad Adam Driver gets to like be a little freak.
Yeah.
2024 is the year actors got to be a little freak, and then you know.
Oh god, I've not seen this clip yet. What is this? Go back to the club.
Yeah.
It's also called Madman Films. Yeah, I think the Megalopolis will be perfect for like a group watch or something.
Oh
to
yeah,
grab
no,
with friends.
absolutely. It's a movie to watch with like 4 beers, like
Yes.
minimum.
And then we just work yourself up
yeah,
from
you're not
there.
getting out of this without a blood alcohol level.
It's like the perfect cocktail of like bizarre, like auteur vision that's been in production for like 20 plus years, more than that, and also like countless upon countless like, you know, sex pest accusations and other accusations of that ilk. It's just like what a cocktail.
I mean, the man is Italian, so.
Yeah, they do be doing that.
Oh, you should I be recording?
Is the thing alive?
I see the YouTube.
just
We are
live.
online.
Yeah. Okay.
Alright, I'm gonna sacrifice the sound quality by unmuting the stream tab. What a cocktail.
myself.
Okay, I can hear myself on the stream, we're good.
Okay,
Oh yeah.
nice. Didn't Coppola like sell one of his like very successful wineries to make this film?
Probably.
It's
It's a miracle it got made, is the thing, like... The
I'm
fact
sure
it came
Tom
out
would
at
know
all.
this.
Yeah, like I understand. Like, there's a lot of very talented directors that struggle to get funding on their visions, but none of them, I think, like struggled to get something for as long as Coppola did with this.
Yeah.
Maybe look, maybe he should have just like reread the draft script at some point.
Let's give that a little more time in the oven, like
So silly.
just
The
a little
concept
bit.
of like New Rome or whatever. Yeah.
I've not seen this yet, but I heard apparently that because the movie was in production for so long, he already had shot different things for it, including apparently there was new footage hitherto unseen from 9/11 because he had his own. Yeah, apparently he had his own like camera crew that went like to and did some footage there because he said, "Oh yeah, I will need that for my New York movie soon."
Oh Jesus.
So yeah, apparently there's like footage from 9/11 that from Coppola.
He breathed in too much of that dust at Ground Zero. Oh my god.
Yeah, I have to like check this or take this with like a metric ton of salt, but that sounds like the perfect level of unhinged that I suspect.
I think it's fucking awesome when completely insane people don't have to go through an editor anymore.
Oh
Yep.
yeah.
Oh, I mean,
Just
that's where you get like
unfiltered.
J.K. Rowling or whatever.
Oh god.
I mean, the book though is like the least edited, is the most insane to read. So like, it is complete slop, but like, you know.
Well, number 7, right? Is
Yeah. if we're talking like, not that J.K. Rowling is remotely an artist, but like in terms of artistic vision, just being entirely unhinged, like Book 7 of Harry Potter, the least edited of them, is certainly the most unruly.
Yeah, I mean, like to
It's
do
the most.
the meme and like separate art from artist. I have no idea what she was trying to. Well, I mean, I know what she was trying to do. She was trying to do her own
Racism.
crisis of faith, but yeah, you're racism. She's trying to do her own crisis of faith.
Tom is
No one
cutting
edited
out just a
it. So
slight
it's just-
bit periodically. Don't know if your mic is like fully connected or anything, or something's just being funny.
How's that?
We will see, I suppose. It's like very occasionally,
will-
like words drop out.
Yeah, I was hoping the internet would get done today. It'll get done tomorrow. So,
That's all right.
hi viewers. I'm perched on the nightstand again to get as close to the Wi-Fi as I can.
Is New Zealand finally getting internet?
Yeah, well, me writing my takes on letters and mailing them in for someone
yeah.
to read off cue cards in Australia was just a little really inefficient.
Having one internet, just one,
Just one.
the one cable that's coming.
Yeah, I had to pick the Prime Minister off it so I could take over for that.
Okay, we started strong with Megalopolis,
Megalopolis.
but do we want to go by media again? We can start with anime and manga, if we want to.
Go back to the classic, yeah.
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 Yeah, the
I
5
watched
minute
an anime
fucking
this year,
burn
so
through.
like, for once.
I did watch a anime.
A anime, single one.
I think so. Yeah, I think it's just Dungeon Meshi that I watched. That was actually recent.
Oh yeah, that was this year. Or last year.
Oh, we got Carl in chat. Hey, Carl.
Carl, why are you awake? Go back to bed.
I kiss you, Carl. Is that like normal time for you guys?
It's like, it's,
10
I
in the
mean,
morning?
yeah, it's like 9:30 here, so like, it's morning.
Yeah, to go to Dungeon Meshi, that was a great show. Like one of my favorite of this year, because you have Studio Trigger walking in like not the usual Trigger lads like Imaishi or Tsushio, but one of the other lads. And he's doing a great job. He did some assistant directing here and there, and yeah, we're there. Dungeon Meshi, good time, fantastic show, great writing, animation on par. And I also read the whole manga this year, so yeah, manga is also fantastic. Go watch Dungeon Meshi and then read it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I need to
was
watch
quite
it.
surprised, but like, yeah, I was surprised but very happy with how popular it came. I've still got to watch the anime, of course, but
Also German dub, super fun. German Marcel got a little bit of a meme status internationally, so I'm very happy about her. Like I've seen people like cut together the English version for a human speech and then interspersing it with German Marcel for Elvish. That's great. I will watch a whole cut like this.
They should kinda do that. Like, it's like Street Fighter or like Tekken. You've got to have everyone speak like a different language. Like, and you
I was
get
gonna
to
say,
select
just
who speaks like Japanese, who speaks German.
I was gonna say just do the Tekken thing and everyone speaks a different language.
Yeah, subtitles are just canon in this world. Like everybody understands each other.
the funnier option is everyone understands German but refuses to speak it.
Oh yeah, that makes
Which
more
is
sense.
me. That's me IRL.
Yeah. Also, Dungeon Meshi's manga finished, I think, 2023. So that went on for I think nearly 10 years. Yeah, and
how much is like
apparently-
left to adapt? Is there like another season's worth to adapt, or is it longer?
Yeah, we're just one season more. And so we're right in the middle of the manga right now. So one season more, and then we should be done.
Nice.
Yeah. So
Is there like a thing on Mal where I can actually check anime by release date? Like, did they ever fucking invent that?
I just usually do the
weird graph page.
The 2024 seasonals. So I'll like just look by the seasonals to see what came out this year. That's what I did to like refresh myself.
Did they never think to integrate something like that?
no,
They stopped updating apps and websites like a decade ago. They didn't need to do that.
Yeah, we're lucky this
Things are
website's
as
online.
good as they're ever gonna get. Yeah, I mean, there's probably better anime categorizing websites, as you can assume, but
Probably.
Probably.
But I'm not transferring all 600 whatever anime I've seen.
much work.
But
if they exist now.
Well, I didn't watch much anime this year.
I mean, I did watch some anime, but I didn't watch anything actually recent. I guess I need to get around to watching Dan as well, because I
same
read
here.
some of that manga about a little over a year ago.
Dan is
And
a lot of fun. Really good adaptation of what it is.
Yeah, I know an anime is popular when like the non-anime people at work ask me if I've seen Dan. So yeah, that's my metric. It's like, okay, yeah, this show is big.
They sort of went all in on the style of Dandadan, because Dandadan's a lot of fun. It's very cool and like it's quite naturally funny as well. So then just sort of going all in on the style, especially for the OP, was enough to like just be that catch and enough to sort of break it to mainstream, which was really good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, also Science Saru is on this, so not USI himself, but some his proteges, you could say. He's like building up a very nice catalog of directors at Science Saru. So yeah, the lads are doing well.
Yeah, I watched a lot of parts of a lot of anime this year. Not many sort of caught my attention to, new ones, I should say, but caught my attention to, like finish them. One that I was watching last year in review still, but I think finished this year was Frieren.
Oh
Journey.
yeah.
Was a little bit softer on as it went on, just because it sort of finishes on a bit of a tournament arc style thing that I just didn't think captured what was the strengths of the show to me. That being said, it wasn't bad. Like, it still had like really strong character moments in it. The show knew when to sort of hold back and have a quiet moment. I like that this sort of first episode in itself fits as like a sort of microcosm of, I guess you say, the themes of the show, and so you could just watch it as like a little OVA. You know, it's about legacy, it's about the passage of time, it's about regrets, it's about forgiveness, all that kind of stuff. It's interesting. Yeah.
I did not know. I've not seen it, but I did not expect it to be like as interesting a popular show as it seems to be. Like I saw the stuff clips from it. I was like, oh, is this just another like kind of sloppy fantasy anime? But like the more people talked about it, I was like, oh, this is actually quite an interesting take on this stuff.
Yeah, I was very pleased. A year for me being pleased about the shows that got big. You know?
Yeah.
Of course, like they're probably not going to be as big as, you know, Trapped in Another World with My Stepsister or whatever. But,
Yep. The usual.
That's mean. That's very rude to say. But yeah, I think the average anime fan demands more. Another one that I did actually finish was Apothecary Diaries, which was quite fun. We love Chinese history, folks. We love.
The last one cut out there.
Oh, I was saying I love interesting portrayals of women through history. It's a series that's very honest with its time period, but still sort of showing the place and power women held in like the like Chinese imperial court, which is a lot of fun and like fun little stories. Not something I think is like a must-watch, but I think the mangaka that writes it got done for tax evasion, which is very funny.
Oh no!
Yes, I hope they're doing okay. I hope they're out. Free them, I guess. Just a little bit. Like, they're allowed to. They've read a good manga. Mangaka have done worse.
Yes.
Yeah.
Tax evasion is barely a crime.
Yeah, that's fine.
Time.
It's like a victimless crime.
Yeah, that's something I've wanted to mention, and it's for Dungeon Meshi, Delicious in Dungeon. It finished, I think, at the end of 2023, and some people thought, like, well, for one, it ends on a very nice note. Like, it is a finished story, it's not rushed, it's, like, on point. But what some people pointed out was that when the manga ended, I think just 1 month later, Baldur's Gate 3 came out. So it was like, yeah, I'm going to finish this up so I can play this now. And then we've never heard from the mangaka again. So she apparently also like played Divinity Original Sin. She made like a whole like Baldur's Gate 2 official like profile pictures. So she is in CRPGs and RPGs. So also, yeah, just go off. You deserve it. You can play some Baldur's Gate as a treat after Dungeon Meshi. For anime, I can like very quickly mention is Beastar's final season came out.
Oh, yeah.
But for some reason it's final season part 1, I started
course.
watching it. I started watching it and was like, wait a second, this pacing will not work out for this. And then I found out, oh no, it's part 1. There's like 12 more episodes coming this year, and then it's finished. Like, okay, good. But yeah, Beastars, as always, Beastars is Beastarsing, and it's good.
That should be fucking illegal. They gotta stop doing that shit. How can you be final season and then it's like part 1? Then you're second to final season. Fuck off.
As always, we can blame fucking Attack on Titan and final season part 1, part 2, whatever it was some of those seasons were called.
Were it not at part 3 already? It's like final season part 3 and then a movie
I
or
don't
something.
know. I checked out like years ago.
Me too.
Yeah,
I finished the Attack on Titan
final
manga and I
season.
was like, okay, I'm gonna just like memory hole this entire series. This was not worth my time.
Yeah, Attack
Hold
on
on,
Titan
hold on.
final season part 4 comes out, and it's just Mein Kampf. It's just Mein Kampf.
It's just that one clip of Elon Musk that's going around.
Yeah, it's just that.
Yep.
Looping.
Hi-oh,
skill.
Jill in chat.
I've seen something in the seasonal list. Ali, have you watched Bartender?
Oh yeah, that
yeah,
was
the
this year.
Bartender.
Yeah, I watched the new Bartender. That was pretty good. It was very different to the old one. The old one is a lot more like episodic little stories. The new one is a lot more like a continuing narrative, which I thought was a nice change. Like I like the old Bartender a lot. It's got that, you know, easy to put on and have like a nice contained story centered around the drinks, but this time being like, oh, actually following the characters a bit more was nice. OP was not nearly as good as the old one though. The old one clears by a mile as far as openings go.
Damn.
Yeah, I only watched the first couple episodes. I do want to get back to it. There's like a list of anime that I started and want to get back to this year. That's embarrassingly long. It's really bad. But I think Bartender is probably at the top of the list. I did rewatch the original. It's still on YouTube. If anyone wants to.
Oh hell yeah!
It's probably not the best place to watch it, but it's it's very fun that you can still find it on YouTube. Really.
Yeah, I found I was trying to find some old like 2000 shows to watch, and there's a show Gallery Fake, which is about like art forgery. It's like 30 episodes, and all the uploads on torrent sites look kind of shit. And then one day I was like just on YouTube, and I found like a playlist of the full series on there in like in just as terrible quality with like the bright yellow subs, but like if I'm gonna watch it in terrible quality, I'm
Nice.
watching it on YouTube. I'm not like downloading. I'm not putting storage space away for it.
Very good. It is the old school way to enjoy it, just like this.
Exactly. The only other
But
show I
then
watched from this year is the Dead Demons anime, which was pretty good.
yeah,
A very nice
how about
adaptation
that?
of it. I feel like
Yeah.
that has been in the works
Yeah,
for...
I need to finish it, but I'm very happy now that it's coming out.
Yeah. It was interesting to like get to like the back half of that, because when it was coming out, like there were hiatuses, and then like it changed to like scanlation groups. It was just like you'd get like go like 6 months without a chapter, and then suddenly there'd be like 4, and then there'd be like a long break because whoever was scanlating it wasn't scanlating it, and then there'd be a drop of like a couple chapters, and the break a couple chapters. So I had to like remind myself what even happens in the back half of that show. But I like it a lot. I think it's good. It definitely stumbles quite often. It's a little hard to like fully grasp what the deal is, like what you're really meant to be focusing on. There's also an episode 0 that is just like the 11th hour of the show. That is a really strange
Yeah,
idea.
athlete
If you watch that
choice.
show
Really
and you've
bad.
never read it, don't watch episode 0 first. It is like in media res, like stuff that will
okay.
spoil you on like what I think is like the main perk of like the manga, which is it's this like, you know, lingering, looming like uncertainty the episode 0 will just like answer the question of like what is going to happen. It ruins a lot. So don't start with episode 0. Episode 0 comes like after episode 17, which is the penultimate episode of the show. So because I was watching it with Amy, who's not read it, and I was like, there's an episode 0 here. This seems like I was like skipping through it. I was like, this looks like quite late in the show. Let's watch episode 1 because I don't want to like I don't want your experience to be like here are all the show's answers like right as we start. I want you to at least be questioning things, and that worked out fine. So just watch episode 0 after
it really
like
is a
17 or
frustrating way
whatever
for it to be presented.
But yeah, I'm glad it came out. Like, there's not a lot of Asano anime, if any other ones. I'm trying to think if there are any other Inu Asano anime. I mean, there's obviously not like Pun Pun. Pun Pun hasn't got an anime, but like, there might be some shorts or something.
At this point.
Aren't there live action movies?
There are live action stuff, yeah. But like, I remember years ago, like when the manga's still ongoing, there was like a CG like preview teaser thing of like an anime project,
like promotional stuff,
like a promotional thing that was literally just like a minute 30 or something, and I was like, oh, this might be like all we ever get from this, because this is like a kind of a weird anime to like try and like pitch, I imagine, and it's like if they there's a big ass spaceship, like that alone is going to be annoying for people to like animate. It's like, but then, God, I can't really remember when it was after that, but like years after that, they were like, oh yeah, there is an actual anime project coming out, which is pretty cool. I'm glad it came out. I still really like that series a lot, and it's cool to get it in like motion. And the voice actors are really, really good. That's like the main like crux of like that working, is that like Ontan and Kadode are like complete goblins, and they are complete goblins. So
nice. Like, would you recommend reading the manga first, or
I think the anime works. Anime, I think, is good. I've not reread the manga at all, and like the back half of the show is the manga rather is a bit of a blur, but like the anime was fine. Also, it is very funny that Dead of Demons, the manga, or it's not very funny, it's very bleak, but it's very funny that when the manga was coming out, Donald Trump was president, so Donald Trump is in the manga, and the anime came out pre the election, and Donald Trump is in the anime, and now we're back on to another term of the big man. So it is. They did not put Joe Biden in as an alternative. It is Trump.
That's how he got elected.
Oh boy!
His runaway popularity.
It's either through that or through Bucky.
Yeah.
Or the Death Note one shot, if anybody has read that.
Oh fuck! Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, because Trump ends up with the Death Note.
Of course he does.
That's just how that happens.
That's bizarre.
If we stay in the unhinged anime, I had a very interesting thing that happened to me this year. I went to some more anime conventions here in Germany. Found my very much fun in dressing up in cosplay, either as Harry Dubois or Gale from Baldur's Gate, which is very fun.
Yeah. And
turns out at Konichi, which is like one of the, I think, second biggest anime conventions, there was an AMV showcase. And one of them was AMV Hell 8. I don't know if anybody's familiar with like the AMV Hell series. This is like old.
Yeah, going way back. Yeah.
Yeah, and sort of this project still exists. They just were on hiatus for a while, and then they came back, sort of saying, "Okay, we need to bring back this, just little comedy vignettes of jokes from, I think the maximum is 30 seconds." Like from 5 seconds to 30 seconds of people like just doing jokes with songs and anime. Not all of them landed, but it was like a really nice blast from the past to see like this concept, but with anime from today. I think one of my favorites was somebody taking the piss out of the Susume anime the latest one from Makoto Shinkai,
Oh yeah,
which
yeah,
is
yeah.
the girl in the with the little chair,
Yeah.
and that interspersed with Monty Python's "Sit on my face and tell me that you love me." um, yeah, so that was good fun. Also, during the showing, which was like I think after 8 p.m. in the evening, because there are some jokes in there that are definitely not for kids. A mother came into the showing room with her, I think, toddler son, sat down to watch said AMV Hell 8, and then got up after 4 minutes after she decided that this was not for kids. There was after when this happened, because there were definitely some jokes that happened that were not for kids, and she was like, "Oh, well, never mind. I'm walking out again." It's like, what made you think that this was a good idea to walk into with your son? It's called AMPL and it says 16.
That sounds like
wait,
the experience
sure.
of anyone, like any parents at a like anime convention. I think that's just like a permanent like state of mind. It's like, why can I actually take a child in this massive convention that is is people being anime fans everywhere?
Nope.
Yeah, I mean, I also attended a journey.
Oh, yeah, we went to. Sorry.
I was going to
Cut
say
out there for a
we
second.
developed. We developed a slight obsession with a certain
yes.
drink brand this year.
Yeah, it's the Ubu drink, exactly how it's spelled, like UWU.
Oh yeah.
And you can get it at like different anime conventions in Germany because it's a German brand, and it's like it's actually good. It's
Yeah,
not bad.
surprisingly.
Is it just like a fruit
Yes.
soda thing, or is it like?
They're like seltzers and spritzers and
Seltzer,
stuff like that, so it's
yeah.
not quite so sweet, yeah, which is really nice.
Oh, right, yeah.
Non-alcoholic, but yeah, surprisingly drinkable.
Yeah. And they have their own like idols, this is sort of their own little mascots, but they now like pulled in 2 official collaborations. One of them with Oshinoko,
insane.
which is insane. Like officially
This is a
branded
German
Oshinoko
drink
drinks.
brand.
And the other one, which I haven't looked at but looks very cute, is like 12 different German VTubers who now like each get their own drink. And it's like, yeah, that's cute. It's like, yeah, so support some of the like local VTubers. That's nice.
Yeah, and they're like making and paying and working with like German animators and stuff to make their own anime. It's insane. It's just this multimedia project, but unlike all those ones that were too ambitious and failed, this one actually seems to be succeeding because they sold a good drink.
Yeah. And yeah, apparently, like at conventions, it also goes well, and they also regularly sell out when you can get some like boxed sets to get home. So yeah, and they
sell
also
out at
like
the Aldi's and stuff as well.
yeah. They also seem to be nice at like community building, so like it always like resharing fan art and like the other VTubers that book in. It's like yeah, they actually seem to be going well, so good for them. When we stay at anime, did somebody watch Look Back?
No.
It is one that I watched. I'll be honest. I don't remember a huge amount of it because I was very tired at the time. But it is. You can see why people sort of were able to grab onto it. You know, these very human, like relatable sort of stories of art and relationships and how you relate to other people. And done by the Chainsaw Man author, was it?
Yeah.
I wonder how that guy got good at writing about humans. Anyway, no Chainsaw Man fan has ever read the manga. I get so mad seeing the like bi-weekly posts about it. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. I do want to go back to it and like sit down when I can sort of focus on it a bit more. Same goes for like I watched a good chunk of Metallic Rogue, but it was like something I was doing in the evenings after work, and I was just not absorbing it at all.
Look back, like really, I had read the manga before, like I have it on my shelf here. But the anime got me good. It's essentially the story of like two like young girls who start out drawing manga at school, which is something that I did as well. And sort of how they work as a team, and then of course as they get older, things start to arise. Like, should we go to art college? Should we just continue what we have? And yeah, so some of the bigger questions that you ask yourself as an artist, and how that creates conflict. And yeah, it's a 1-volume one-shot that was adapted as like a 60-minute film. And it does exactly what it is. And yeah, very good one. I really enjoyed it. Cried.
Everyone I've spoken to about it has said, like, yeah, it was incredibly heavy to watch, but like, this is something special. So I do need to actually get around to it. Because I like Chainsaw Man. I need to catch up on part 2. I like the periodic reminder that God, I've forgotten the guy's name, the mangaka's name, but like how he's managed to filter so many Chainsaw Man fans with part 2. I respect it.
Fujimoto, right?
Fujimoto, yeah. I see posts from my friends being like, hell yeah, this guy's a sicko, and then like a bunch of like Jujutsu Kaisen fans being like really like grossed out, and it's like, yeah, hell yeah. this is what series should do. But I should catch up on that, and I should read his one shot, because there was also is it Goodbye Eri, another one by him that people like. There's a couple of like one shot ones. I think they've released a collection of like, I think they've called it like Before Chainsaw Man or something, of like, which is a little reductive, but like it's like a bunch of his like one shots and short fiction stuff. So I think I should probably get that and give that a read, because I like Chainsaw Man a lot. I think part 1's a really strong take on that sort of thing, and everything I've heard about a look back has been very promising.
Yeah, I have his 2 collections here, but I haven't read them yet. Yeah, I think the one is called 17 to 21, and the other one's called 22 to 26. Yeah,
I think it had like a subtitle of like Before Chainsaw Man or something, right?
Yeah, genau.
Or at least when they're promoting it.
And these are the stories he drew like from these ages. So it's like when he was 17, like, with like this story, and then that's like fun. Until 21. And you could see like the very like rough early style, but it's interesting that the story work is already there. He's always interested in telling like interesting concepts and stories. But I haven't read all of them. I think I just read 1 or 2. And then of course Look Back and Goodbye Eri are the ones that I could like hand anybody. It's like read this. This is like finished in 1 volume. It's great. Enjoy. I have also here the War of the Rohirrim anime. Lord of the Rings.
Did we talk about that when we talked about Lord of the Rings in the last episode, or did we like say, that's coming out? I can't remember.
Who knows?
Eleanor, what did you think of War of the Rohirrim?
I liked it. It's a bit rough at the start, because the problem is you cannot do sweeping landscape shots in anime without the use of 3D.
No,
if you want to like emulate the like Peter Jackson style.
And there's not many of those these days.
Yeah.
New Zealand undefeated. Anime cannot replicate.
Exactly. And so it looks like a little bit rough at the beginning. I think it needs some time to like settle in, but it uses the same score from Howard Shaw in like different remixes, so that's great.
All right.
It immediately like hooks itself to the Peter Jackson Lord of the Rings. Also with you can definitely recognize all of the like villages, and you will also see Helm's Deep, which is one of the main things that is like in the second part of the film. And I liked it because we all know it's pretty much impossible to like topple the Lord of the Rings trilogy.
Yeah.
So I like the idea of just having here's a little side chapter.
Yeah.
And then not trying to like be bigger than the other. And yeah, it's nice. You have King Helm of the Rohirrim, who then Helm's Deep will be named after. His three kids and what happens to them. You have the Rohirrim Shield Maidens. If anybody screams about wokeness or women, go fuck yourself. Because yeah, it's a great thing. It's a great theme. You also have like some of the like older, like Valkyrie type women who like appear and it's like, oh yeah, back in the day. There's a great story and lore happening here.
Yeah.
And I just want to point out Helm, the king. Like all of this is, I think, just 1 or 2 pages in either the Silmarillion or Lord of the Rings. Is like not much story. It's like, yeah, this also happened. So they basically just went, okay, yeah, we will just go into that.
Yeah, I think as I said in the last episode where we talked about this, that is basically what you have to do if you're doing anything Lord of the Rings. You have to go, okay, here is an event that apparently happened. What could that possibly have been? Like, what is the narrative we could actually build from that? Which is a fool's errand in my opinion, but it's how you have to do it if you want to do something that isn't like the Lord of the Rings.
Mm-hmm.
It's really lazy of Tolkien to not just write more Lord of the Rings. What can you do?
And the King Helm, or Helm Hammerhand, you will find out why he is called that. Because that man straight walks out of Fist of the North Star. He's great. I love him. He basically just punches shit and shit dies. And that is his story. Like, man punches good. And I loved every time he punched something.
Pretty much the entire plot just happens because he accidentally punches a guy to death with like 1 hit.
Yeah. Yeah, it's great because it has like this like Lord of the Ringsy like big vibe to it. They have like the meeting of the Rohirrim. This is like the first, I think, 10 minutes of the film, where they talk after bloodlines. Where does it go? Because he has like 1 daughter, but she cannot inherit this. The son should have it. Is somebody drilling stone? Why are you drilling at Saturday morning? Like, what are you doing?
It's not coming through on the mic, so you should be alright. But yeah, that is that is unfortunate.
Stop drilling walls. It is not even 11 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, so and then one of the like who's like a bigger different not king but baron of his lands like challenges him to like a fist fight. It's like, oh yeah, let's take this outside. And then he just gets punched once and dies. And then of course the son is like, oh, what have you done? I shall avenge you. And then from this, oh, but I just punched him once. Yeah, so this is how that gets started, and I had a good fun. I watched it in the cinema. Seeing Lord of the Rings in the cinema is always great. I did like a 12-hour marathon of the extended versions.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, that was very fun. So the War of the Rohirrim, I think just go with it as like a side story into it. Like don't expect it being huge, and then you will also get like a really nice payoff. Like when it gets into like the Helm's Deep stuff, like away from like big sweeping shots and like into like a siege war at Helm's Deep. That's great. Fun.
I can't think of any other like new anime I watched.
I can rattle off a couple.
Go for it.
Like quick fire. We talked about Uzumaki last time. Did anyone finish it?
Yeah.
After that?
I did. I had already finished it. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Congratulations.
Hey.
The My Dear Friends Nakotan came out. That was very popular. I didn't watch it.
Oh yeah.
But it blew up for memes, and then I don't think I saw anyone post about it after a couple of episodes. So I don't know.
Such is often the case.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think I saw the first episode or 2 of the Hokkaido tourism anime, the Hokkaido Gals. which was
Yeah.
fine. It was fine. Like I don't think it was anything particularly special, but I think it's fun that it was just like, come to Hokkaido.
Isn't that even a Shonen Jump series, if I remember correctly?
Potentially, I know it's been going on for a while and it's quite popular.
Mhm.
I know Gil watched it. I'm assuming Gil's not in chat anymore, but I watched a little bit of Kaiju number 8 after its interesting release cycle initially.
Oh god, what did they do?
It announced that it was going to be streaming on Twitter exclusively.
Oh my god.
Oh no.
Yeah, that didn't stick. I don't know if that happened after one episode or they, it was always going to also be on Crunchyroll, but yeah, it was fine. I liked the manga, but like not enough for me to watch it all now. I might wait for some more to come out. I watched like a couple episodes of "'Tis Time for Torture Princess," which is like a cute anime, but it's got like one joke really. To the demons, torture is the nice things that the princess like actually loves, so they do the nice things that she loves, and she like concedes all the time.
Yep.
Cute, fun.
The It's Time for Torture Princess manga. I've read a lot of it actually. Because
really?
back when the Shonen Jump app still was like not in its subscription model, you could watch, you could read this series for free, and that was a really fun show. Like it is a one joke, like that the demons are actually nice to her, but I think it evolves very nicely. That in the beginning it's just always just the one very cool demon who like comes to her and says, like, "Yeah, tell me, or I'll just use this piece of toast to eat the rest of my lasagna," and you're not getting any. It's like, "I want lasagna," but then it like goes into more like the demon lord's daughter wants to get in on it. You have like the animal trainers who like come and like bring big fluffy Shiba Inus that you cannot resist touching. There's like more and more characters like coming in. There's also like a prince who tries to rescue her, and he's like an absolute asshole and he gets kicked out. I feel like the manga has like a nicer pacing because you can like blast through one chapter in like less than 5 minutes. I felt the anime was too long for what it did.
It's probably why it wore a bit thin on me.
Yeah.
We gotta go back to having short animes. I
I was gonna say that's like a textbook. The show is like 5 minutes, like, and it's like it's a perfectly fun time for 5 minutes, and then that's the end of the episode. I've seen a lot of those cases of the.
I miss you, Tonkatsu DJ.
Tonkatsu DJ.
Come back.
Oh my god.
Oh, this was lovely.
Tonkatsu DJ and the stuff like Ludicro, which I think was like the same year as Tonkatsu DJ, and
there was a few shorts I think we watched that year that were all like pretty good. That was the same year that people watched the Banana Cat thing as well.
Oh yeah.
The hamster race car as well. Is that the Pui Pui Moi car?
Oh, Pui Pui Moi car. Yeah, I guess that's like the most recent like I can think of like shorter stuff that's been actually actually popular.
I have a few quick manga that I can fire off.
Go for it.
Of like manga that is not from that. No, one of them is Land of the Lustrous finished.
Yeah.
The gemstone manga, because it was on hiatus thematically for a long time, because like in the story a character has to wait I think for 1,000 years, and then the manga went on hiatus for a year. So that finished. It goes into like very like high concept stuff at the end, like a lot of Buddhism, a lot of philosophy, a lot of things. I feel like, okay, yeah, it fits for what it does, and I think I had to do like a little bit of reading up at the end, like, okay, now I get it. But for me, it was a little bit unsatisfying. I'm not about the whole forgiveness thing. It's like, no, revenge. No, if you think shit happens to you, like, don't let him get away. But yeah, but I think that the longer I think about it, the more at peace I am with him.
Now
It's not my
I was
vibe.
going to say they're done with Beastars, but you said it's final season part 1. Are they going to like continue adapting Land of the Lustrous, that studio, once they're all done with Beastars?
Oh yeah, good question.
Because that Land of the Lustrous anime was quite pretty, so I'd be down for more of that.
Yeah, so that finished. Oh yeah, I could mention that I started reading Sanda, which is the new series after Beastars from Paru Itagaki. Also, Anime Hero in chat. Hey, how are you?
Heyo.
I hope you're fine. I think you're in America. You think what the time zone kerfuffle
Yeah, what
is
is
in
the
your
time in the
case?
States? How did Gil come in?
It's like 5 a.m. on the East Coast.
Oh goodness me! Please survive.
Perfect.
Yeah, so Paru Itagaki's Sanda, which will get an anime adaptation this year, also by Science Saru, which I think they are now doing after or next to Dandadan Season 2.
Nice.
And it's just the unhinged Paru Itagaki that I like, and it's great. It's a
That's
boy
good.
who can turn into Santa. And
As that fucking rocks.
yeah. And the thing is, like, he can turn from like scrawny little guy into like big buff old man with white beard. And I'm
He
still
wears
at
the
point-
tracksuit.
He wears a red tracksuit because, like, when you get Santa clothes, no, you should just wear a red tracksuit and be like Slavic coded Santa. But the cool thing is, this plays in like a dystopian Japan, where less and less kids are being born. So now they're getting regulated. They're like being like secluded schools and such. But the point is also that Santa gets stronger the more kids believe in him. So it's now by like all in doing good deeds and like fighting against the oppressive parents and older generations. Like there's a lot going on like in social commentary over there. And I just, and this is just volume 1. So I think it's finished in 17 volumes and anime is coming out. So that the trailer looks great. So I am all about that. Thank you, Miss Itagaki.
I do love Slavic Santa Claus. It's your boy Shivap doing Nikolai.
Then I just wanted to point out that I finally, my god, read and finished Berserk.
Oh, nice.
That took way too long.
Oh yeah,
but I thought,
I caught up with it as well, with all the post Miura's death chapters, because it was on versus Wolves, and you know, that's what got me into it.
Yeah, I read until like, of course, Miura wrote, and then some of the like next ones that was not assistant, but definitely guy who he trusted to do this with.
Yeah, his
But it's a
best friend,
different vibe.
basically.
Yeah, but you can feel that it's different. And
I feel like they
and-
still have, like, probably a lot of notes by Miura or something, because the stuff that's immediately afterwards feels pretty reasonably consistent with, like, what was probably going to happen anyway.
Yeah.
And there isn't too much of it, but yeah, it's moving towards an end game, I suppose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Which you would
it's
hope.
nice to think there might be an ending for Berserk, and it be done by someone who has like Miura's vision at heart. Like that's a really, I think anyone. I still need to like finish off what there is. Like I've only read like a couple arcs past the Golden Age, but like I know a lot of people said like, oh, the last chapter that came out for the Miura wrote is like, a perfectly acceptable stopping point because things are like you can see where things are resolving and it feels very like cathartic to like leave it there. But like the idea that, well, on top of that, if you want to, there will be an end to the story and hopefully, like obviously don't want to speak too soon, it will be a a compelling ending, that's a really nice thing to happen. It's I think it really speaks to Miura's story that is a possibility.
Yeah. Like Anime Hero pointed out the new Berserk chapters are like really like we just have like a point where I felt like a point of pause, where I would also be happy to just drop Berserk at the end of Miura's run with the Tears of Morning.
Yeah, basically.
But yeah, it just and then it continues and like oh no, Casca was just back, guys. So that just continues. I think I will like casually check in how that goes, but
listen, Guts had it good for too long now.
Yeah.
So.
More suffering, please.
More suffering.
Yeah. Also, thank you for Anime Hero for saying, yeah, the Itagakis are all unhinged. Yeah, they are. I still need to see a crossover between like the dad Baki and daughter, like
oh yeah, no, that they should do something together. That'd be great.
Is she also into piss, or is that just...
A good question. We should check. But yeah, at the topic of Berserk, which great, fantastic. I'm thinking about maybe like getting the collector's edition one day once I build my full library.
Oh, those things are beefy. I see them in the comic shop and they're huge. It's like, okay, yeah.
Leather bound.
I can't justify it myself. I'm not as enough into Berserk to like justify getting those, but like, God, those are beefy if you're really into it.
Yeah, I would be very up for that. But I read something else that was not from that year, but I have to point it out, is A Cruel God Reigns by Moto Hagio. The queen godmother of shoujo. And she draws or has like the shoujo stuff that I like. You know, the old school drama stuff where people get slapped and it probably placed in some sort of boarding school and gender and sexuality is also happening. And A Cruel God Reigns is, I think, some of the toughest thing that I've ever read, which is essentially all the trigger warnings here, I'll just mention them, is about a young boy whose stepfather, like newly married father of a mother, continues to sexually abuse him. And the thing is, it like goes into such real hard stuff of like either people not believing you or like getting into it's just awful. It's awful from back to front, and but really goes hard in like all of it, what it delivers. And then just recently I checked out the Wikipedia page for Moto Hagio because I want to have like a little German podcast with Diabaka about him. He introduced me to Moto Hagio before. And turns out that Mr. Miura likes the works of Moto Hagio and went like, oh yeah, when I did Berserk, I like read some of his stuff and it's like, oh yeah, I want that emotional suffering for like my characters. So thank you for introducing me to that. It's like, oh god. So yeah, the Queen of Shoujo definitely influenced like one of the kings of seinen, as well. Just when it comes to like emotional hardship and how to depict it. So yeah, yeah. If you think like I want Berserk levels of emotional suffering with maybe less violence but more awful shit, A Cruel God Reigns is right there. It's from 1996, and yeah. I'm not touching that in several years again, but that was good stuff.
Yeah. I got caught up on Hunter x Hunter this year. I finally because it took me. I was watching the anime for like so many years, and Chimera Ant, everyone loves it. It is very good. It's good in like the last like 20% of the thing, and watching it in the anime was like the slowest fucking thing I've ever watched. So I just read it and I finished it in like an afternoon. And because I did that finally, I was like, oh, I can like finish Hunter x Hunter or like catch up on Hunter x Hunter. And the current arc of Hunter x Hunter, because we've got a new batch of chapters this year, which is cool, like a bunch of like 10 chapters, which I need to finish catching up on. But the new arc is so good. Like, it's such a like bizarre. It's clear that like Togashi's like kind of ready to start winding the series up. So he's doing this like, okay, right, we've got this new world, the Dark Continent coming on the horizon maybe one day. We're traveling there. So in the meantime, I'm going to just explore what my power system does. And that means, okay, here is a 14-way political stalemate with like 1 billion characters that takes place like 80% over the phone. A bunch of people with like freaky like body horror creatures that do something. We're unclear on most of them at the moment. The main character isn't there anymore. We've got Kurapika's now the main character. It's such a like bizarre thing that Hunter has become, but it rocks. It's so fun. And I'm very excited to like dig into the new chapters a bit more. It is, yeah. I think he came out this year and was like, oh yeah, here's like my vision for a potential ending for the series, and it was literally just like, here's a description of what the epilogue will probably be. And I think a lot of people were like, oh, this is strange, because it was like, oh, a girl looks out the window and sees this, and it's like, okay, that's not like the ending of the series. That's like what your final sort of images of the series is. But I get what you mean. This isn't what people want when they say, oh, I wonder what the end of Hunter x Hunter is. But I respect it. I'm excited to see what more Nen abilities he's going to come up with, given that like the current sort of status quo is like, oh, my ability is I can make a mouse do a flip under certain conditions, and that will like win me the war. That is like Hunter x Hunter currently, and it is really good.
Okay, nice. Like, I know nothing about Hunter x Hunter, so yeah, I can just start the manga then, or
yeah.
Like you
I
said,
think the manga. I think the
anime
manga's good. Even when people say the manga isn't good, I think it still has enough charm to like carry it. Like the period of time when Togashi was like in so much pain he couldn't really draw very well, I still think it has plenty of charm. I think the 90s anime is also pretty good, although that's only like part of the series, obviously. Yeah, like if you like weird shonen stuff, like Hunter x Hunter's been pretty good, and it's just like, hey, don't try and like keep track of stuff, because you're not going to be able to. Just like,
okay,
at least in the current stuff, like, oh, it's a lot easier to like absorb up until like everything the anime covers, but like the current arc is just like like epic fantasy political intrigue, but like on a massive cruise ship, and it's all like it's also got this like Rose of Versailles like court manners stuff in it, which is like, oh right, we need to communicate with this like party, because it's all about like, oh, like a royal family, and they're all fighting like a battle royale to like figure out who's gonna be the successor. But it's like, oh, it's not as simple as, oh, you just kill everyone. You've got to go through these like political like bureaucratic means to like give yourself this right amount of elevation, because if you kill people, you're going to get like everyone knows you're just going to kill people and you'll get killed, so you have to like do weird power abilities and get your like your proxies to like be on the phone and like arrange a meeting so that this like particular like the stars can align in this particular way. It's so ridiculously dense, and like it's so funny to read on, like, you can't even read it on a week-to-week basis. It's like, oh, here's like 10 weeks, 2-year break, 10 weeks. But yeah, I think it's fun. I think it's like one of my favorite shonen arcs that I've read, for sure.
Nice. Now that you mentioned it, I checked out, I think this year, a little bit of Zatch Bell. The which is also a Shonen Jump series, I think, like an old one, and that has just fantastic energy. Like I think the anime is like a long time ago. It's like it doesn't have a lot of like hype or drive at the moment. I think there was also a new series coming out, or like a sequel. But yeah, I have to continue reading this because that is just proper Goblin Child unhinged magic stuff that also has like a really nice core of like heartwarming relationships of like different like mages with their doll demon children. Yeah, so that I want Shonen Sunday. Thank you, Anime Hero. Yeah, I would definitely want to continue that. I grabbed off of eBay like the first. Germany just had the first 10 volumes translated, and then nothing. So at least I have those now. I don't know why they stopped, but yeah, I have those now, and I'll read them and then continue to find them on the internet or somewhere else.
Nice.
Oh, and I have to point out a doujin that I have posted all about them. The Festival of Champions Pokemon doujin that I enjoyed this year. It's a doujin series by I forgot his name, but yeah, it's just a tournament arc, a big one, called Festival of Champions that takes place in Kanto, but also introduces some other Pokemon regions. It's essentially a best of Pokemon battles, but oh my god, does it go hard! Like you see the art is getting better. Like in the beginning, it's like a little bit rough, but like once that man has his skills and gets started, like he releases I think like one chapter like every half 1 year. Oh god! And then one chapter is like 70 pages. So you get content with this man, and that is like on the level of like why is this not an official Pokemon manga yet? So I was able to get some of the physical printed versions because Comic-Cat happened, the big comic marketplace. So I could import some via like a proxy service, and I have those now, and these look stunning. So Festival of Champions, if you haven't already, read those. These are great if you like Pokemon.
Yeah.
I got a question.
Oh, there you go.
Did anyone watch the Suicide Squad Isekai?
No.
Oh, I didn't, but that came out. Yeah, that's true.
I mean, I hadn't watched it. I just came across it in like the seasonal charts, and I saw like a Bishi Clayface, and now I'm morbidly curious.
In my opinion, Clayface was always Bishi.
He can be anything you want, so
that's true.
Including Bishi.
Oh, and I can add one little quick one. I started reading Night of the Living Cat.
That's quite fun. Yeah. Yeah.
It's essentially just imagine all the zombie movie tropes, but now replace all the zombies with cats. So yeah, the world is going to shit because people can just not stop petting the little kitties. And as soon as you touch a cat, you turn into a cat yourself. So it's just humans fighting the urge to get close to cats and play with them or touch them. Yeah, and it plays it absolutely seriously. And it goes into like Shin Godzilla parodies and introduces like alien fun. Like it has so much fun. And then, at the end of last year, it was announced that an anime is coming out, and hacking Takashi Miike will produce it. Oh. So we are on brand for this manga.
Sure.
I was just gonna say that sounds like one of his movies, like so it makes sense that he's involved. Oh, you said Godzilla. Oh. Everyone should read Godzilla's Masterpiece Theater. It's a 3-issue comic that finished this week. It's like Godzilla, but with it's like a Golden Age comic pastiche with a bunch of like literary heroes in it, like Great Gatsby and Sherlock. It's really fun. Best Godzilla thing that's come out since Shin, probably. It's finally someone doing something like with whimsy with Godzilla. And I guess, as I mentioned, comics. The new Ultimate Spider-Man is really fucking good. I got really Jonathan Hickman pilled last year. Read his Fantastic Four. I read his Avengers run. The guy knows how to write some goddamn superheroes. Ultimate Spider-Man is like, oh, what if there's a bunch of alt universe nonsense. If you know what the old Ultimate Universe was, it's that again, but like there's more fucking around happened. Spider-Man became Spider-Man at like aged late 30s. He's married to MJ, which if you've read like any Spider-Man comics in the last like God knows how many years, you know that's like a big deal because of editorial. And yeah, no, the new Ultimate Universe has been pretty fun so far. I really like The Ultimates by Dennis Camp. A lot of like, oh, here's like a lot of like criticism of America and like political stuff that is obviously not as like biting, given it's in a Marvel comic, but like it's not as toothless as you'd expect. And I also read 20th Century Men by him at the end of last year, and that's a really fucking good comic. That's like
I do really want to read 20th Century Men, yeah.
Yeah, like alt history, like Cold War era, and like invasion of Afghanistan, that kind of thing. But with like a real tinge of like Warhammer and Universal Soldier, that kind of thing in there, and like documentary comic kind of stuff. Really, really cool. People are like getting a bit like over the top and saying, "Oh, it's the new Watchmen" and stuff like that, which is a little much. It's really good, but I don't think it's going to have the impact that Watchmen did. But it is a really, really strong, really beautiful as well in places, and a really quick read. Yeah, comics can be pretty good. Oh yeah, the Ultimate X-Men is like feels like a Saturday morning Toku show. It's what if the X-Men were a bunch of Japanese girls?
As you do.
What
Not
if
as
indeed?
explicit. Yeah, like at the moment it's only Cyclops who is like, oh yeah, Cyclops in this universe is a Japanese girl. But like it's a bunch of like Armor is the is the protagonist who's like a C-list X-Men, but like she's got a big cool like I don't even know what you call it, like telekinetic suit that comes out of her. So it's very like Kamen Rider-esque. She dresses like an old Kamen Rider hero does out of the suit. She's got a motorbike and stuff. Pretty cool. I'm a big fan. The only one of the Ultimate lines I haven't liked is Black Panther, because absolutely nothing has happened in it yet. But they're Marvel are doing some good comics right now, at least in their like when they can fuck around with continuity and not be like slavish to other stuff. Big fan.
Nice.
That's
I want
all
to
for
point
me
out
in, like movies and me and anime and stuff and comics and stuff.
just one quick one I wanted to point out. Anime Hero mentioned Creature Commandos, which I still want to watch because that is by French anime studio by Yves Balak.
Is that not a Zack Snyder thing?
No, in this case not.
It's
like
I
think
it's the start of the James Gunn stuff, I think.
Okay.
Creature Commandos. I think is it bound to DC Comics?
Yeah,
I think, but it's
like a C-list DC thing.
But yeah, they're just having their like own designs and like own fun with it. And what I've seen of it is also like very like gory, explicit. The French are unhinged, so I'm happy about that. The problem is I haven't been able to watch it yet because Germany hasn't licensed it yet again. So yeah, I just have to like find find it somewhere. Good lord.
You siphon it across the border.
Yeah. They just they keep getting away with this. Oh, by the way, I saw an advertisement, I think just a few weeks ago, of like Warner Brothers Germany. It was like, oh yeah, we got the Uzumaki anime. Are you excited for that? Like, lads, you're a little bit late on that.
I don't know how to tell you
guys are
this.
so... Germany's so funny, and like it's just like really behind the times on like media and trends, and so it's always trying to catch up earnestly, which is cute, but it also means like behind the times.
Yeah.
Like
so
this year for Eurovision, the German entry, it's like, oh, you would have done really well if you'd entered 6 years ago.
I think you mentioned it. What was it? Discount Imagine Dragons song.
Mm.
That didn't come through. Sorry.
Huh? Sorry, I didn't say anything. I just said. Mm.
Ah, okay, good. Ah, yeah. That is all that can be said about the German entry of Eurovision.
It exists. It is a song that happens. It's got Lupe Fiasco horns in it. Modern, truly.
Never heard the concept before. Yeah, should we walk over to films?
Yeah.
If
Is that us done? We've done it again. We've talked about every anime.
We always talk about anime
there
for
were no
longer than I
more
expect we
animes.
will, given we all see a collection of like 3 to completion.
We've watched no anime. Let's talk about it for 70 minutes.
I mean, there's a
We
couple
did
others
the-
I could like mention, like I watched a couple episodes of, but I don't think there's much more to say. And
Yeah, let's do movies. I've got stuff to talk about
for.
for movies.
we opened on Megalopolis. We can't go back.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, we would have done movies.
Oh, yeah. I can also point out the one film that I started and dropped after 10 to 15 minutes. I think it was even faster than that. Was Madame Web.
Oh my god, that is
Let's
another one that
go.
makes me so bad.
God, rest in peace. The like Sony Marvel movies. Kraven the Hunter like sure came out
Oh,
and
what?
like I don't think
No
anyone
one liked it.
saw it. What a beautiful
I think
universe.
I think even more damning about the Kraven the Hunter film is I didn't even see anyone talking about it. Like it's not even.
No. I mean, I was just saying with like the Ultimate Spider-Man, they had a very obvious like synergy with like, oh, the Kraven the Hunter movie is coming out this month, so in this issue, Kraven the Hunter is going to be relevant. And it was like, okay, cool. It was the most like gone immediately movie, and then they announced, oh yeah, they're done. Like. Shout out to the Venom movies. Like I haven't seen the new one. I think it's definitely apparently a step down from the second one. But like that's like the only thing in those that's that franchise that has made money at all, and it's not made a lot of money.
Look,
Do you think we
Tom
can
Hardy's
convince them to
falling off.
re-release Morbius again? That was a funny.
Yeah,
thing.
Rata has to make another meme tweet that convinces them to re-release Morbius.
Yeah, Madame Web, I just wanted to point out, like I saw then other videos about it that like go into like the insanity of wanting to have Peter Parker and Uncle Ben in the movie but not being able to mention them because
Yeah.
rights and like an army of lawyers who will jump on them as soon as they do. So they just go by, oh, hello, Benny. Is
It's Benny.
your which have you already decided a name for your thing? Then no, we're still thinking about it because they cannot say Peter. And I think the bad guy gets was it is crushed by the P of a Pepsi sign, something
yeah.
like that.
Crushed by
sounds
P.
It sounds like a great movie. I don't know what you're saying.
Yeah,
Apparently
and
Pepsi
the-
marketing is like really weird throughout it. Like characters are just like not even drinking, like cradling cans of Pepsi throughout.
Yeah, because they have to show the logo to the camera, but cannot
sure.
actually drink it. So they just stand there awkwardly with their cans.
As you do.
Yeah, as you do. The first 10 minutes that I watched was actively painful because you can just feel that everybody things have been ADR'd in. There's you can see that this person is not talking, but they just added a dash of monologue here and there, and everybody just speaks in exposition. It's so weird. Also the meme sentence that people took from the trailer, that is just in there. I was at the jungle with my partner when I was pregnant while I was looking for spiders, and no one speaks like that. That everybody does. It's awful. Yeah. So, Madam Web, what a movie.
What a movie.
They're finally making movies good again.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, Sony Pictures.
Rest in peace,
Yeah.
Sony Pictures. Rest in peace,
I
Morbius
didn't
again.
watch watch new films this year. I just watched a lot of James Bond,
Nice.
and then
Nice.
As you
Carl
do.
and I watched. And Carl and I watched The Meg 2. Or The Meg, I can't remember. I think it was The Meg 2.
So was that your favorite movie of the year?
Yeah, sure. I think it was The Meg 1. But yeah, no, because with Carl I also watched Banshees of Inisherin, which is a great, really, really good film.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
Banshees
it's
is
a good
good,
one.
yeah.
I want to mention that it was 2024 absolutely goated year about movies about white boys with a little bit of swag getting assimilated into Eastern cultures. I'm talking about Dune and Shogun. Those were
Oh,
the
yeah.
best live action things, and they're both about that. They cannot handle white boy jihad, dude.
That's what The Meg was about, kind of, when you think about it.
Oh yeah.
When you think about it,
I mean, think about it.
I'm
doesn't-
thinking about it.
Did anyone see any real films?
I saw some real films. I guess
I
franchise stuff
put-
I can write. Oh, Alan, you go first.
I just want to say I cracked open my letterbox that said what is there in there, and there was in fact some things in there.
Nice.
There was
There were movies this year.
some things happened. Mad Max Furiosa happened. I kind
Hell
of
yeah,
forgot about
brother.
it, but it was a good time. We love a good Mad Max film.
The absolutely worst Coen Brothers movie happened.
Goodness me, what was that?
Drive Away Dolls. It's a movie that no one has seen.
Oh yeah.
I think it's cool to get confirmation that Ethan Coen is a lesbian ally, but
Oh.
that movie blows. Even though it stars Pedro Pascal as Penis Man.
Yeah, Mad Max Furiosa I have. Well, Conclave I watched as a good German. That is good fun if you want. Signore, I have new information. Oh shit, here we go again. The movie. That's this. It's just Vatican.
That's the
intrigue.
Pope one, right? That's the
it's the Pope.
Ralph Fiennes Pope one, yeah.
It's not the
Yeah,
one where Ralph Fiennes is extremely ripped.
Unfortunately, no. we need more fist
We
of
need
the
a Pope that lifts.
Yes.
Actually, no, there's a whole sect of right-wing belief that is, what if the Pope was huge and muscular, so maybe not.
That's just the Mahjong manga, The Legend of Koizumi.
Oh yeah!
Yeah, that was okay. It has like a really nice, I don't want to say twist at the end, but like a very nice message that flew over the entire heads of the audience I watched it in, which was a bunch of boomers who decided to go to the cinema on Saturday afternoon. Because I heard some of the comments that they said, and they said like, yeah, you just didn't get that one. The substance I already waffled on last podcast, still one of my favorites. And
I think you've seen Twilight of the Warriors, Elena.
yes, that I wanted to talk about. Twilight of the Warriors. Also the
Go on.
nomination for Hong Kong for the Oscars, I think.
Fucking hell yeah, brother.
Yes. Just imagine the Raid, but a whole living block. It's quite simple. You have like Kowloon Walled City, which was one of the densest populated places on Earth.
Yeah.
And a guy goes in who has stolen something that he shouldn't, and then he just becomes part of the community there. And then several raids by other like bad gangsters and such happened. Look, you want cool action, you get cool action, and
This
there's
is
cool
the most-
bad characters in there.
Shonen anime live action movie of the year.
And did you know that I found out after I finished this film that this was based on a novel which got
It
a
is based,
shonen
yeah.
manga? It got a shonen manga as well. So yes,
A
it
manhwa.
has the energy. A manhwa, exactly. Yep. So that is just a very good time. You want martial arts action and cool characters who are so cool they can kick someone in the face and then catch their own cigarette before it touches the ground. Yes, that is the stuff you want. Also, the bad guy is, I think, Majima with ESP powers.
Also, Sammo Hung is in there.
Yeah, he's also in there. If we stay into Hong Kong cinema, I saw Only the River Flows, which was like more of the like subdued the psychological thriller crime thing. I could catch it just once at like a local cinema. I was on the hunt for this movie for several weeks, before I could catch a rerun. But that is just all of the aesthetics, and I think also shot on 60mm film. It has like the good film grain, good vibes. Only the River Flows, if you can catch it, do it. Good stuff. We also have, of course, real Kino. Wallace and Gromit, Vengeance Most Foul.
Oh yeah, that was a nice thing to have.
I think you saw it before the All of Others.
Yeah, it was on. It was
TV
like.
first, right?
Yeah, it was on BBC on Christmas Day here, so that was a nice like family watch. I think I like it. It felt more like a feature length short than it felt like a full movie. Like it didn't really feel. It felt very different from like Curse of the Were-Rabbit, which feels like an actual movie. This still felt like it could have. You could have convinced me it was a 30-minute thing that was actually like an hour and a half or whatever. But it's good. They're still good. Like a lot of fun.
Anime Hero coming in with the cheese. Yes, it has cheese in it, and it is a good one. I absolutely agree with you that it feels more like a longer short than a movie. It doesn't have the scope, I feel like, or the like big feeling of Curse of the Were-Rabbit.
Yeah.
But for what it does, it's a good time. I wished for a little bit more Feathers McGraw. But of course, like, he's in prison, meaning in the zoo, so he has to like get out first. But some very good jokes in there. Liked it also a lot more than Matter of Loaf and Death, which fell a little bit off for me. I didn't like it that much.
Yeah, I forget that one happened.
Yeah, it's like, it also, but Matter of Loaf and Death has like one of my favorite puns in it. It's like when he like meets the lady that works in a bakery shop. Like she says, I work in a bakery, and Wallace says, "Oh yeah, I'm in bread too." I was like, "Yep, that's a good joke."
Yeah.
Uh,
And I will say the guy who voices Wallace now, I wouldn't know if I didn't already know that Peter Sallis wasn't alive anymore. I wouldn't have known that wasn't Peter Sallis. He does a really good job with Wallace's voice.
Yes, that is just on point. Like I
Like
wouldn't
it
have
wasn't
known.
until the end of the movie and got to the credit, I was like, oh yeah, that's not Peter Sallis. Peter Sallis isn't alive. I think it's the guy who does like who's done the voice for the video games. Like I think he's like Wallace's voice in the Curse of the Were-Rabbit video game from 2005 or whatever. So he's been Wallace for quite a few years, but like it's cool that like they found someone who is, you know, who can just do the Wallace voice.
Yeah, they had him on speed dial already. Like he was already there, so like,
Yeah.
he already could jump in. Also, Anime Hero, like you said, you had to dodge spoilers before you get like the Netflix release, which was the same for me. I think 6th January 5 or something. Like we had to wait like a whole week for the UK we got to watch it. And for me, it was like a spoiler, but it was also the best. It was like a quote where somebody said, "The best commentary on the use of AI comes from Wallace and Gromit." He's like, "Yeah, it actually make a point about like bad AI and how that can like be controlled and like doesn't understand." It's like I love Gromit like in his little garden, and then Wallace like comes in like, "Oh yeah, I built like an AI that does it for you, so you don't have to do like the bad tasks anymore." It's like, no, I like it that actually. So yeah, that's like what the AI bros just don't get. It's like, no, we like creation of arts. That don't take that away from us, please. Yeah, so the Avengers Most Foul, very happy to see them back, sort of in like a good state of things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's nice to see British people happy for a little bit, just a small period.
For 70 minutes on Christmas Day, that's like all we get. And then we look at Keir Starmer as our Prime Minister.
Too much already, but
have to be sad.
Yeah. They let Sir Keith out the cube for a few minutes on Christmas Day.
The fucking homunculus is on TV again.
Oh lord.
Other franchise stuff.
On the topic of...
Oh, yeah, you go.
I was going to say, on the topic of British centrists, I watched...
James
I think
Bond.
the one 2024 film I watched this year was Alex Garland's Civil War.
Oh, fuck, yeah. I've not seen that, but I've seen, like, enough about it. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, I don't really leave, like, serious Letterboxd reviews, but that film made me so, like, genuinely annoyed that I sort of felt like I needed to. It is, like, the least... It is so uninterested in its, like, own concept. Like, it strips all, like, the inherent political, like, problems and parts, like, that sort of lead into and create and come from a civil war, and instead it's like a story about journalists, but not in a particularly compelling way. It's just like, we got to get that perfect shot, you know. We've got to, you know, we've got to make history because journalists are history. Journalists are everything. And it's like, I mean, journalism is important, but like, what are we doing here? Like, what's going on?
It's like the least interesting story you could tell with that
situation
concept.
Yeah, the cast isn't interesting. They're not challenged. It's stupid.
Yeah, I was gonna say other franchise stuff. We got New Planet of the Apes this year. We had that like month where there was a bunch of Monkey Spring or whatever it was, Monkey March. I can't remember, but yeah, we had Planet of the Apes. We had Monkey Man, which I haven't seen. I still need to see Monkey Man. We had Godzilla x Kong. So it was a good period of time for apes on the big screen. I like that New Planet of the Apes. The New Planet of the Apes is quite fun.
Yeah.
Not quite as strong as like I saw. Oh, I forget what all the names of them are. I saw like the first of the reboot ones like years ago, and I saw bits of the following ones, but like I've never actually sat down and watched them. And then I saw, okay, well the new one is coming out. I'll watch Dawn and War, and those are some good ass movies. I've really enjoyed, especially the middle one. The middle one's really strong, and yeah, I really enjoyed the new one. And
the main advantage that the new one has is that it's the one with the most apes and the least human characters. Like it's almost all apes the entire way through, dude.
Yeah, that's the thing with like the other trilogy. Is like, oh yeah, they're doing the origin, so it makes sense. But like, it kind of does surf Dracula, the whole like, oh, Planet of the Apes stuff, and then this one being okay, this is the first we were actually looking at like a world like run by apes, and like that's yeah, it worked quite well. I like that
the utopian ape society getting corrupted by human ideas, which is to revive the Roman Empire.
Yeah, part of me wishes we got at least just one movie that was solely apes, and they didn't like, because obviously like the end of the new one, it's like
there's no conflict.
Right, humanity is alive, and I know that probably in the next like at the end of this like run of trilogy, it's gonna like we're gonna get like Surf Dracula the spaceship from the first Planet of the Apes movie like coming in, and now they might do like a reboot trilogy of like the like just retreading what the old movies did. But like I would have loved if it was just the apes in this one, and then they bring in the humans. But like, it was fun. I like it's quite funny that like God, I've forgotten his goddamn name. The one other human guy in the movie, he's like top billed at my cinema. It was like, oh God, what is that guy's name? I need to look this up. It's gonna drive me insane.
Was it Macy?
William H. Macy, yeah. He's like top billed at my cinema, and I was like, oh, we're getting like ape William H. Macy. And no, he's just a human. He's just like he's just like a side character who shows up like halfway through and I think dies like in the 11th hour. I was like, okay. But the guy playing Proximus Caesar is great. It's the guy who played Barry Burton in the Resident Evil movies, who's great. Yeah. He's really fun. And the guy playing the like lead ape has a really good like skittish like sheepish quality to him. And I'm glad we got the orangutan, the obligatory wise orangutan briefly. I hope they bring them back. We need just a bunch of orangutans next time. Like they're
holy shit, dude! I love
really holding out on us on those.
Even that popcorn treat, yeah.
Yeah, like fun movie. And Godzilla x Kong is the stupidest of all of the American ones so far, but positive. Like they just went all in on like this movie's stupid, and yeah. Although my main criticism of Godzilla x Kong, Godzilla should not be top billed in that title. He is doing side quests the whole movie. Kong is the actual like main character of that movie. Godzilla is like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go have a nap in Rome. I'm gonna go fight like a guy.
Godzilla is literally just like Goku in like
I'm gonna go
arc during the hyperbolic time chamber.
Exactly. He should not be top billed. Kong is the focus of that. It's so funny that of all the characters that they've decided are like now main characters in this franchise, it's the kaiju QAnon guy is like a guy who's gonna be central to these movies. It's such a bizarre
I've not
thing.
seen that yet. But I remember him from like Godzilla vs Kong.
Godzilla vs Kong,
like,
yeah, he's like
oh God,
central.
Why is he there? Yeah, I remember the Japanese reviews that came in from Godzilla x Kong that said I lost the top reviews were like, I lost all the brain cells again that I gained from Godzilla -1.
Yeah, it's very stupid, but again, you've got a bunch of apes and you've got that big old lanky whatever his name was, the long
evil
armed
ape.
one. That shit rocks. Kong has a like mechanical arm now. That's always good. And Godzilla goes Super Saiyan, God Super Saiyan, or whichever way around.
Ah, nice.
Yeah, these movies need to be stupid because I mean, we're getting a lot of Godzilla now. We can get just pure stupid like American Godzilla. We don't need like every Godzilla movie to be thoughtful and reflective. Sometimes it can be big monster, just be big monster and do stupid shit. Scar King, that was his name.
Yeah, because I think that was also the consensus from the Japanese side. It's like, yeah, it's stupid, but it's fun.
Yeah.
And sometimes that's all you need. And I think if I saw correctly, -1's director wants to work on a different kaiju now.
Yeah, they're doing another one. Yeah, there should be. Yeah, I've still not seen -1. I need to get around to it.
Oh, so good.
I've seen people like put forward what kaiju we might get, and people have said Hedorah, and I'd be very on board with another Hedorah movie. I feel like.
I think that was the one.
Yeah, because the director of Godzilla vs. Hedorah is like a big producer on the or he's a producer on the American ones, and I know he was slated to do like Shin Hedorah like years and years ago, and that just fell through. So like, I'd be down for more Hedorah. That's my favorite kaiju. So like,
I wanted to say something about -1. Ah, yeah. If you haven't seen -1 yet, you have the choice of the regular one or the -1 color.
Oh yeah,
which is also amazing because that was released on Netflix as well. So I think watch the color one and then the other one that is like not just like we slapped the black and white filter on it. No, like they color corrected it like that. It looks like a movie from the 50s.
Yeah,
and it's great.
I'll probably
make yourself a double bill of those.
Yeah, I think I might do something like that and watch them that way. Destroyer would be cool. I feel like you got to end like a narrative with Destroyer. Godzilla can't face Destroyer and like survive. My hopes are the American Godzillas are going to get Gigan and Megalon. We need that like gay ass duo in the American movies, and then like Toho, if they're gonna bring back kaiju like Biollante, Hedorah, Biollante and Hedorah probably, maybe like King Caesar, that'd be fun. Just some of the classic freaks for the Japanese ones. I've not seen any of the Sonic movies. I'm not a Sonic guy.
No.
I see clips of Sonic 3 and I'm like, if you like Sonic, this shit's probably like your favorite thing in the world, and I respect it, but I'm not that guy.
Yeah, I think a lot of Sonic fans are really into it and sort of forget that like other people aren't Sonic fans. It's like they're like kids' films. They're fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of marketing going on. Like, they're definitely big, but I've never played a Sonic game. It's like Sonic Riders, the like waveboard one, and maybe that's coming up one day. But it was super hard that game. So no, I know that the Sonic films are around. Oh, and they also spawned a new German meme. Tom, do you want to make an educated guess? How would you Germanize "Gotta Go Fast"? Because how do you make a new catchphrase for Sonic, like in German, of "Gotta Go Fast"?
Los.
Exactly, that's the one. Bruder muss
Really?
los. I think it's mentioned somewhere. It's like brother must go.
Brother must go.
Gotta be off. Bruder muss los. So that was its own little thing. That I remember.
Yeah, I'm glad those Sonic movies have like done well, because that like the initial Sonic trailer that came out however many years ago was like so dire that they like remade the movie, which sounds insane to me. So I'm glad they've actually been able to make a franchise out of that nonsense. It's not for me. I see Supersonic and I'm like, that's cool, but like I'm just not a Sonic guy. And I have to say, I what clips I've seen, the guy, it's like Idris Elba voicing Knuckles. I do not get on with like his voice acting for Knuckles, and Keanu Shadow makes sense, but I love Keanu. He can't voice act. He's not a good voice actor. His like kind of inflections are good when he's like physical. Like he's great in John Wick. His voice acting for Shadow sounded quite dire. Shadow,
I may have
Jim
more to
Carrey,
add
I
to
guess,
that when
though.
we get to the video game section.
Maybe if they have Shadow actually move like Keanu and make the expressions, but
Oh yeah,
Just John Wick Shadow.
yeah. I think I guess like these Sonic movies are like one of the only like franchises that have been able to consistently release movies like rapidly and maintain like, you know, a viewer base, because like there's like, I guess yeah, we're going into Sonic 4 and they're like introducing Amy Rose in 4. Like,
Oh God, yeah.
they're really doing like the
didn't
classic
watch
like
it.
well I say classic like what the Marvel movies did, and it's like, okay, yeah, here each movie's going to introduce a new like kind of central member of the team, and people were enjoying them. So good for Sonic fans, I have to say. Like,
Yeah, good for them. Like they're eating. So
if you're 9 and you love Sonic, you're eating. Like when I was 9, if I cared about Sonic when I was 9, it'd be just miserable. Like you've got like, okay, I can't remember what, like, Sonic and the Black Knight, is that a game that came out around that time? I think I was like, I've got some mutual friends of mine have like a Let's Play channel, and they're playing through like all the Sonic games, like all the 3D Sonic games, and every time I check in, it's like miserable. They're playing Sonic 06, they're playing Sonic and the Secret Rings or whatever it's called, Werehog. Like, God bless them, but that's not my game.
Yeah, nice. Okay, oh yeah, we have some Nosferatu over here.
Nosferatu. I've not seen Nosferatu yet. I need to do that.
I've
I've still not seen The Northman either by Eggers. I'm
yeah.
behind on my Eggers.
I got Nosferatu downloaded.
I think,
Oh, yeah,
I think the Northman got a
officially.
bit too lost in the source, but I'm really looking forward to seeing Nosferatu.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
I mean, the Northman has Willem Dafoe farting, so you know.
Yes.
Yeah, he's a little goblin in Northman. It's great.
Yeah, I did myself a double feature of Northman, and then a few days later went to the cinema for Nosferatu. I had to ruffle up some teenagers behind me verbally, because they were talking like they were just on a Twitch stream. It's like, oh my God, look at this! Like, why is the guy walking his horse? Why is he not riding it? So don't talk to my Robert Eggers, please. Yeah, and so I gave them like a very stern warning, and then they shut up. But and a few people around me like said, "Oh God, thank you." But no, please don't give me your Twitch commentary during me sitting in the cinema. Don't.
No talking during Eggers' time.
No, forbidden by the law. Yeah, but Nosferatu, I watched it. I liked it very much. The German dub did great wonders because it also takes place in Germany. Yeah, it's a little bit, unhinged, a little bit of feminism, very bit of just crusty as Nosferatu. Like, goes away from the like classic Max Schreck design, does its own thing. So yeah, can recommend. My favorite still remains The Lighthouse of the Eggers films, but I like Nosferatu more than I like The Northman, for example. So yeah, If you all watch it, then we can talk about it.
Yeah. And is he doing like the Wolfman next or something? That I see got announced. He's doing some more of these Universal monsters, which is cool. I've seen a lot of people be very like anti Eggers and his like take on these movies, but like I like The Lighthouse, so like I'm more than down for his take on these things.
I have written down the City Hunter film, which came on Netflix, and that one was very fun. I need me some more City Hunter, like from the live action ones.
Yeah. I should really get into City Hunter. It's so long, and like the first few episodes of the anime does not sell it particularly well as a thing I want to like watch a ton of. But it's like gorgeous, so like, you know.
Mm-hmm. And I have a serious movie to talk about.
Serious movie? We can't be having that.
It's out. We don't need to. I watched the Riefenstahl documentary. That came out in Germany, and we're getting serious. Which also went in different film festivals around Europe. I think Venice where it won something, and it's very important and interesting because Miss Leni Riefenstahl, which if you know film, you should know her. She is basically the one who invented how fascism looks in film, with like the symmetry, the big masses, the everything, because she was essentially the one who made the propaganda films for Hitler. So she is the one who basically invented that. And for a long time, she had her archive under lock and key. Like you were not allowed to access her heritage belongings. And also because she just didn't appear in any interviews anymore. Because it turns out this lady, she has issues, I want to say. Because this film, I wonder why. In this film, you see especially archive material, but also things that were not aired. Like her breaking off interviews or storming out or not agreeing to terms of something. Because it turns out this lady, she knows how important she is for film history and what she did. But she doesn't want to be associated with the Third Reich and the Nazis and so on. So if you ask her a question about that, she will flip out in your face. And it is incredible to see this mental disconnect of this lady of, I did great things, but I never went there. I never had contact with them. And then it's like immediately flash cut to like a different interview where she says, oh yeah, Hitler sent me like flowers to my hotel. It's like such a contrast now that you have the archive material that she never wanted people to see. A very important film nowadays. Watch that if you can catch it, because that is just wow. How can you? I don't know how people live like this, but important. Please go watch if you can. Documentary movies are not easy to catch on streaming or like when they are released, but if you have the opportunity, please do. Absolutely fascinating.
What other movies? Trap was fun. I've been really enjoying the Shyamalan movies recently. Like I liked Old, I liked Knock at the Cabin, and I like Trap a lot. The bulk, or at least like the first two thirds of Trap are like a Hitman level. Like it's a really fun like puzzle box of like, because like the premise people don't know is like, here is a serial killer who is at a concert with his daughter, and the concert is a trap set for him that he's now got to try and escape. It's exactly like a Hitman game of like, we could go this way and if I if I deal with this guy, this will lead me down this way, and I can do this. And there's stuff of him like stealing key cards and like just walking into a room with like 40 armed police and just pretending he's meant to be there because they don't know what he looks like, so he can just like blend in. It's very like Agent 47 sort of thing. The last like 2/3, the last third, he leaves he escapes, and it's that's where a lot of people have like said, oh, the movie lost them. It's very much like his personal life and his serial killer life kind of coming to a head, and it's very like, oh, the real trap he had to escape was like, how is he going to deal with his family finding out he's a serial killer? And I know a lot of people got lost on the movie that way, but I still really enjoyed that bit. But the real draw of the movie is the Hitman puzzle box. Josh Hartnett, it does an amazing job for like this like thing. Yeah, there's yeah, it's just a bunch of like, you can watch it and go, oh, I know where you'd want to go on like another run of this level. Like there's a whole like wink and nod of like because it's in a big arena, there's like the stage has like, or the arena has like areas where maintenance shafts and stuff come up, so artists can be like brought up onto the like arena floor from the middle, like and it's like he like Josh Hartnett's character jokes like, oh, we could go down there, we could like see what's down there, and it teases you of like, oh yeah, that'd be a fun like direction to go if you were trying to like escape a arena, but then it takes like a different turn and does other things. It's really fun. I like it a lot. What else came out? I enjoyed Rap World, the Conor O'Malley late 2000s white boy rap period piece that came out.
Oh god.
Conor O'Malley is like, he's really doing numbers at the moment. Like he'll just release like random shorts on YouTube, and they're like just unhinged things. I really like his reinvented Mickey Mouse like 10-minute short that's got like a 3-act structure. That I've seen that like a billion times, and it kills me every time. The one short he did like, I think start of last year, end of 2023, that is about him having like a fever of 103, and it makes him want to have sex with Lois from Family Guy. That is permanently in my YouTube recommended, and it won't leave, and I will watch it every time it shows up. It kills me. It's so good. And Rap World is, when I knew he was making a movie, Rap World is just really good. It's just like a bunch of like white boy is trying to make it in the rap game, in like a small bumfuck nowhere town in America. It's great. And he's also a jump scare cameo in I Saw the TV Glow, which is a great movie. I'm a big fan of I Saw the TV Glow. Very horrific movie, very bleak. Also featuring Fred Durst as a disapproving father. But it's just like halfway through this movie that is already like delving into like, you know, quite heavy, like very obviously like transgender metaphor stuff, and then like Conor O'Malley just shows up having sex in the movie, and it's just a bizarre cameo. But a good movie. I do recommend that if you have if I feel like most people who the movie is going to relate to have seen it, so I don't really need to pitch it to people like that. But like, yeah, it's I like. God, I've forgotten her name. Jane Schoenbrunn. I watched. I've forgotten. I can't remember the life of me what their last movie was called. But it was about like, you know, your like internet footprint, your digital footprint, and like the kind of horrors of what we leave behind on the internet and stuff. And it didn't fully work for me, but I could see what it was doing, and it was like, oh, yeah, I want to see more of this stuff. And TV Glow is equally as like oh, I know what you're doing here. It doesn't work for me on the level it would for some other people, but like very bleak, very. For some people have said it's very empowering, and I respect that. But watching it was just like, oh, this is horrific. This is like literal body horror of
Okay.
But yeah, so if gender dysphoria is something you struggle with, maybe go in with like when you're in like the right mood. But like if otherwise, it's a pretty solid like like urban fantasy, I guess, kind of movie.
That was I saw the TV Glow.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, but that has been on my list as well. So
Yeah.
noted.
Oh, also people saying they didn't get the metaphor might just be blind, because it's like the most obvious thing in the world. I don't know how you can watch the final scenes of that movie and not get it. That's kind of wild to me. But yeah.
Okay, interesting. I just have one that I just want to point out, which is a series that I finally got to this year, which is Babylon Berlin.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if that tells anyone anything. Apparently very successful internationally. It's like the bigger German series. But it's always a mystery where it streams. So it's like, it was on Netflix for a while, then it went to Prime. I had to buy it on Blu-ray because it was not accessible. Yeah, it's a mess. Germany and streaming rights, again. Yeah, but Babylon Berlin is great, based on a novel about like the Roaring Twenties and how that like falls over into like then of course the 30s and the rise of the Nazis, etc. But yeah, that mixed with like a great crime series and like great personal drama, excellently acted, fantastic soundtrack for the time. Yeah, I also have Max Rabe, one of the like great 20s style singers we have nowadays, who also went to Carnegie Hall, like shows up in season 4 with his own soundtrack. So yeah, also Tom Tykwer, who people may know as like the director of Lola Runs and like other great German stuff. So yeah, to go in, it's a mighty good time. And also feels very foreboding to watch nowadays, even if it started in 2017, and probably it will have, I think, a season 5 soon, this year, next year. But yeah, I'm just finishing up season 4 right now, and it's fantastic. It's like, oh my god, we Germans can actually do good stuff. Oh, we don't have to just do raunchy comedies that never make it outside our own borders. So yeah, thank you.
They finally let Germany do a good one. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's fucked up.
You're allowed one.
Yeah, and then Germans went, oh, that's enough of that. We'll do the AI-generated Schlager song. It's going to be our number 1 hit of the year on the radio.
Oh, hell yeah. Yeah, so... Oh yeah, and just to continue from last year, I finally also watched Smiling Friends, which I'm very happy about. That was also a ordeal to get that in Germany. Turns out you need to have a TV license and a TV box to then access the Warner Brothers TV streaming platform only, and there you can watch it. You cannot watch it on your iPad or your phone. No, it is locked to the TV, which is a series, a lot of internet humor, which makes sense. So, but also the German dub is good. So also many very well-known actors that go in there, and also they had fun with like replacing the Easter eggs. I think one that I already posted on Blue Sky about was. In the English original, it's the voice actor of Salad Fingers.
Oh yeah,
like a very early Newground, like disturbing guy who then goes off on a rant about aliens. They replaced him in the German version with the very prolific and very A-list voice actor of Luffy from One Piece, who then just goes on off to rant about aliens. It's great. They had some fun recasting that. I'm very happy about this. Also, great humor. Need more of this. Very happy for smiling friends. We need more more indie or like web-based 2D animation to come from America, please.
Yeah, we're gonna need something that's funnier than Rick and Morty.
Do we? I think we only have music and games left if we have finished movies.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I could touch on games briefly. Back to the topic of Keanu Reeves not being a great voice actor. I've been playing Cyberpunk 2077.
Hey.
Yeah, it's a little bit better because they can obviously sort of, I don't know if they've done motion capture or animation to sort of give them a bit more personality. And at least to begin with, the Keanu Reeves' character in Cyberpunk, I mean, spoilers, kind of, not really. He was all that. Like deeply unlikable. He's like this self-centered, like self-styled, like anti-corporate sort of anarchist, but he's really just sort of this self-serving cunt who's stuck in the head the whole game. And you get to have better moments with him as he sort of like slowly opens up and gets a bit more vulnerable. But yeah, the voice acting's never that great. But yeah, Cyberpunk is one of those like games that's popular now because the devs like fixed a lot of problems with it that it had from launch, and it had a new DLC this year. And they've changed the gameplay in a lot of ways as well. It's no longer... At the beginning, it was very much a small numbers RPG. And I think the devs moved away from that in a lot of ways, and there's still a little bit of that, but it's much more meaningful changes and stuff that you can sort of gain access to as you level up and create a character, which is much more satisfying than 0.3% damage when your enemy took a piss within the last 2 hours. Sort of, you know, stat modifiers. If you like popular video game, you'll really enjoy it. There's a lot to like there, even if I think it sort of stumbles at the final point on like a lot of things. Like I have really interesting like singular dungeons, but then you'll enter another point where like the level design is just not thought out, and you're just sort of eating shit in a way that, you know, your build's not designed to deal with for a while. There's like really good characters, and like a lot of relationships, even if they don't end in romance, it ends in like a very satisfying like kind of like ride or die friendship, which is very good because the point of the game is like you're kind of dying, so which is quite nice. But then other times you'll have these side characters that are just like worse than caricatures. They just don't even make sense. They're not even parodies or whatever. It's just you sort of just get completely lost. So it's a fine game. I was saying Gallon before. I think a 7 or 8 out of 10, depending on if I've played a good section or a bad section.
This is how it do be sometimes. But I'm happy to hear that the game seems to be doing well. Like, I wanted to check into Woody's playthrough soon, because I've only seen clips where he finally has like enough money to like buy himself a motorcycle. It's like, I'm not going to fast travel there because I just want to soak in the influence and then just drive straight into a canal and like all of this motorcycle is gone.
Well, the game gives you so many vehicles at different points, so you don't need to buy them anyway. But yeah. The driving and the physics are definitely a bit wonky.
My video games are summed up. I finished Baldur's Gate, and then I continued playing Baldur's Gate 3. My Steam review tells me that 90% of my time on Steam was Baldur's Gate 3. And the rest was Yakuza 0, which I still haven't finished because I still get caught up in fun grinding and funny subsections and subquests for 160 hours and 3 years, and then just a little bit of fun to the side. I just want to point out Baldur's Gate 3 is still amazing, continues to be amazing, has official mod support, will get a patch very soon with 12 new subclasses, a photo mode, a whatever you want. There's like, oh my god, so much more content. So I've started 3 other playthroughs as well. Oops. But that will just continue.
What the fuck do you mean 3 other playthroughs?
Yes, because I played through with like a custom character, a Tav, as they're called. Then it turns out you can also play as like the evil character, Dirge, or Dark Urge, who has his own, or their own extra plot line. But turns out you can play this plotline in 2 different ways. One of them where you refuse the evilness, and one where you embrace the evilness, which will lead to completely different endings. So I've made one character that embraces the darkness and will romance Astarion, and the other one who a big strong lady who will resist the darkness and romance Karlach. And then I also want to play as Gale to romance Astarion in a non-toxic way. Because turns out you can also play all of the companions that you have, and they have their own plot lines and things too. If you play the funny wizard Gale, you get your cat Tara in camp, which you can pet, and she will bring you lovely little things to eat, like she gives to a kitty. So yeah, there's, oh my god, why is there so much content? Yeah, and playing evil is also absolutely unhinged, because I found out you can be very evil in this game. Like, I have killed several children and beheaded a companion, and then killed another person and dragged their corpse away. Yeah, it lets you do this, and turns out each one of them has like specifically made cutscenes for that evil decision. So there's like even a lot of care like put into this, and it's like, oh my god, there's so much new content. And I'm very happy that I can play a character that is like absolutely detached from my own morality to just be an evil binge all the time. So yeah, I have 3 playthroughs also now going as it happens. Given the fact that one playthrough took me 140 hours, we will see where that goes.
I guess we'll be talking about that game for the next 3 Garcast years in review.
Yes.
Nice. They said that
they
like,
just continue to release more content.
Oh, they're still releasing stuff. Is Baldur's Gate 3 like done now? Because I saw them say that they're not planning on doing like another Baldur's Gate game, but are they still updating 3 for the time being?
Yes.
Well, I know. I'm sure WotC will make another Baldur's Gate game. It just won't be done by Larian. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. They said like the whole the copyright thing with Wizard of the Coast is like very restricting to them. So the like current rumors is that they will go back to Divinity Original Sin, and then probably Divinity Original Sin 3, because that's their own license and they can just do with it whatever they want.
Yeah, Divinity. Please play, everyone. I think I said this last year in a review. Please play Divinity Original Sin 2. It's so fucking good.
You said it on the last episode, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, I'll say it all in every episode.
Yeah, once I have detached myself from Baldur's Gate 3, I will go to Divinity Original Sin 2.
I will probably replay it on PC at some point, because on console it was a pain.
Yeah, PC is great. Also, like, official mod support and everything. It's good stuff. There's one thing I wanted to say.
I've talked about this, like, I've ranted about it briefly, like, a couple of days ago, on, like, Blue Sky. But, like, CRPG developers doing console ports have, like, the worst fucking brain rot. It's like complicating really simple things into being barely functional. Even issues that we've solved with like UI and menus like 30 years ago in JRPGs. And it's just like dog shit every single time they try to do one of these.
I don't know which one you're playing at, but I played on my Steam Deck, like practically every weekday, and that is like bound to like controller controls, and I'm okay with those. Like, on which console are you playing?
I was mostly referring to a Rogue Trader. Playing that on console has like the worst UI and menus I've ever experienced in anything.
Okay.
Even though the game itself is like pretty darn good. Baldur's Gate has it to a lesser degree. I would say that's better, but like still weird. Like you still have those like radial menus stacked next to each other for some fucking reason. I don't know. We can't do drop-down menus or like that you can control with a D-pad. That would be too simple and functional. And it's every single one of these. It's like also like I bought like Pillars of Eternity on PC a couple of weeks ago and played a little bit of that, and it was the Steam menu says that it doesn't have controller support, even though those games have console ports.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't even want to imagine how bad those are.
Oh.
Yeah, it's like every single time. Like if you do like a CRPG on a console, it's like the worst dog shit, even though it doesn't have to be.
Then we continue to hope and pray for those. Yeah. Also, you're right, Ellie. Originally, Larian Studios said that they would stop after patch 7 of Baldur's Gate 3, where they already had like added a lot of content, like a whole epilogue that like gives you where your choices matter, and you meet everyone. I think like 2 years after the game ends, which is a fantastic ending. I love it. But then they just said, we were lying. By the way, we will continue to support this game, so they will just make more content. Yay! Some quick games that I can find out that I played from this year were one Mouthwashing, which was very good.
What's the pitch for that game? What is the pitch for that game? Because I see a lot about it, but not actually know what it is.
You never guess by how people talk it on Twitter what the game is actually about.
Okay.
Yeah.
Imagine the movie Sunshine, but like with like a crew of 4 people.
Okay.
I think the basic thing, the game is just I think 2 or 3 hours long, so I can give you the basic thing is you have like a big freighter ship, like old busted rusty thing, like you couldn't imagine Alien franchise of like a cargo ship that should bring something from A to point B, but they have an accident where they crash into a meteor, and now they are just waiting to get picked up again, but they are like way far out, or at least the next point is too far away for them to reach, and they are like succumbing to their like vices. You could say one of them is like a recovering alcoholic, so that's not going well. You have like the youngster who has like really problems with his self-esteem because he was just an intern. She was not supposed to be like properly there. And then of course it goes like super dark shit that happens with like people who are alone on like a carrier ship. But the title Mouthwashing refers to, I think after such and such month, they decide, well, maybe we should look at what cargo we are delivering. Like, it's supposed to be confidential, but we should look if there's something like either food or water or something that could support us on our ordeal. And then they open the boxes, and it's just, I think, several metric tons of mouthwash. Nothing else. Like dragon breath, minty fresh. And it's like, oh god, this is absolutely useless. But then our recovering alcoholic finds out that there's like such and such percentage of ethanol in this. So people can get drunk on mouthwash and possibly very sick. So yeah, that's your point. And then it goes into like absolutely psycho things. Oh, I forgot. during the accident, the captain was hurt, and he has lost all of his limbs. He can only like lie on a bed. It's harrowing what happened to this guy. So also, this crew is without a captain, so they just have to like make do with what's going on, and it goes into some like awful things later on, because it's also told in a non-linear way and from two subjective viewpoints of the captain and another crew member. So you have to like check, like, is all of these two like telling the truth, or is this how they remember it? So that's my pitch for Mouthwash. It's very cool narrative game. Not a super much gameplay, but I don't want to call it like a walking simulator, because you actually do things. There's also some horror elements where you have to like escape a monster. I think one very short shooting session. Yeah, but you are playing one set story. There's also like no decision you can take. Like, it presents itself as like a complete thing. Yeah, you can play that in one afternoon, and I missed a very big theme in this that like flew completely over my head. But then when I saw it again and then replayed it, or at least watched a replay of somebody else play, it's like, oh god, this is proper off. Holy shit! So yeah, it goes places. I highly recommend it. Good stuff.
Nice. I now understand why I've not seen any gameplay from the game. If it's very narrative driven.
Yeah, it's a very, very narrative driven, and does some very cool things with like quest markers, and dialogue boxes, and it has some cool like fourth wall. I don't want to break thing, but fourth wall leaning bits. Yeah, so that's the Mouthwash.
I guess something that I was able to finally get stuck in with this year in good timing was I played Elden Ring for the first time, and then was able to go straight into the DLC, which Elden Ring I like a lot. I don't think it quite... I think it's a really good game. I don't think I like it as much as I like Dark Souls 1. For all of Dark Souls 1's problems, I think Dark Souls 1 is the more like interesting piece. Elden Ring has a lot of quite bloated sections and bits that I feel, I mean, everyone talks about the reused enemies, but like that is just kind of par for the course if you're doing a game that big. But I think it's as an experience, I think Elden Ring is really cool. You can explore that opening area for hours upon hours before even fighting a boss. It's a really cool thing. Shadow of the Erd Tree, I found the first chunk quite uninteresting. This is like, because I finished the game, beat some of the late game stuff in Elden Ring. I was like, okay, well, let's go straight into the DLC. Some of the early stuff just wasn't that interesting. I felt like the dungeons and stuff were just like as kind of uninteresting as they were in the base game. Getting into like the real new stuff felt like it took a while. Then it hit its stride for quite a while as things started, seeing what the actual like plot of the DLC was, and actually getting some of the cooler bosses. Like Bale is like one of my favorite FromSoft bosses all time now. Like I love that big ass dragon, and some of the areas there were really cool. The final boss is I haven't beaten it. I need to go back now that they've apparently patched it a little bit. Just kind of overtuned and kind of insufferable, but it was very, very cool going into that boss arena and seeing Radahn. That alone was enough of a like finale to that game for me to go, oh yeah, cool. There's Radahn. He's like, they've like necromancered him. And God, that game's that world has got some shit going on, and with those those bosses.
If you want to make an attempt at defeating him, I would recommend giving him every disease in the world at the same time.
Yeah, that's probably what I got to do. I started a New Game Plus run the other night, so I'll get to him again eventually, I guess. But I also really like the dragon, the whatever it's the Great Dragon Slaying Katana or whatever it is with the big projectile special. That's cool. I had a lot of fun with that. I was using Melania's blade for a good chunk of that run.
I want to say the weapons are probably the highlight.
Yeah, I liked the like capoeira like kind of style of combat they added. That's really cool. There's like the combat shields and stuff. There's some cool shit. They didn't skimp on like adding new like stuff to fight with. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Like the DLC is definitely a lot of like asset reuse, which is both positive and negative, because like they managed to squeeze a shit ton of extra game out of it.
Yeah.
But it's just not much more interesting than anything in the base game, like in terms of the environments, the areas you're traversing.
And there were just some enemies that just pissed me off consistently. Like there's like I don't know what they're called. They're like the Mesmer's Knights. Those guys pissed me off because they have like range and they're durable and they will just like fuck you up from whatever angle, and it makes like boss. I mean, not really. The game doesn't have boss runbacks, but like going from area to area, just a pain in the ass. It was like, oh, I want to get to this area and have some health before, and it was like, okay, I'm gonna lose like a ton fighting these guys. Yeah, I thought it's definitely a step down from the base game. Not really. FromSoft games are obviously known for their DLC, and I don't think Erdtree like really lives up to some of the best, DLC in the franchise. But like, yeah, it's fine. I had fun with it. Gave me a good few more hours of Elden Ring.
Nice. I can add a From Software game to that.
Ooh.
That is Armored Core 6.
Oh yeah.
I started playing and had a lot of fun with it, but now I am absolutely stuck at like a mid-level boss. I think it's the one where you scale like.
Is it Malteus?
It's I forgot his name, but it's a when you scale up the wall and like go in, there's like a small room with like one big fuck off robot and 3 smaller ones. And that's my problem, because that guy like constantly beats me because he also has a shield, and I am stuck. I don't know what to do anymore.
That's not like the boss of the mission where you scale the wall, but like the guy before that.
No, there's a one-way wall where you have like a big tank coming out. This is not that one. It's also not a named character.
It's just a tough enemy.
Yes, it's
just tough enemy guy.
Yeah,
and
it happens.
Yeah. And normally it helps me to like look over my kit and like, okay, is there something that is better here for this reason? But no, it's like, because it's a small room with 4 enemies in it, and one is like a big fuck off guy. That's my problem. Like I don't know how to deal with this. So yeah.
I don't know what they like patched the game to be like at this point, because I played it around release. So I don't know what the broken weapons are at the moment. I mean, I got through most of the game using like the Songbird, which is like the dual grenade launchers that you put on your shoulders and can just blast anything.
Yeah, those are great. Yeah,
and I imagine they might be okay in like a tighter space because of the blast radius. But yeah, I don't know.
I think because at the moment I've not like looked up a guide. So because I thought it's just a tough enemy, but then I ran into him like, I don't know, 15 more times, and it's like, oh no, I can't beat him. So yeah, I think I just have to look up a guide or like a walkthrough, and like if there's I'm just doing something wrong either in my equipment or in how I fight, skill issue. Probably one of those. But yeah, so far very fun game. I'm just stuck at the moment. Oh, and Space Marine 2 I finished.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
I need some more Warhammer. Sorry?
I've played the other one as well.
Yes.
I only did the campaign. I didn't do anything online.
Same here. I'm not a very online gaming person.
Yeah.
But Well, the main quest was fun. I could have wished for a little bit more variety at the end. But yeah, I love me some good Warhammer 40k aesthetics, and they just have it down regarding designs and characters and how everything looks, how everything feels. Like that is the good stuff.
It sure would be cool to play as anything else than Ultramarines one day.
Yes, please give us something else.
Maybe in like 20 years.
Uh-huh.
You get one Emperor's Children, perhaps.
You'll get to
Salamander.
play as you'll get to play as like the Dark Angels, like the next most generic guys.
Yes.
What else?
I forgot a small indie game I played, Children of the Sun. Because it's a German game, also it's like German developers. The idea is cool. You play a young girl who escapes a cult, and she wants to take revenge. She finds out she has like Esper mind-bending powers, and that she can control a bullet that she fires. And so she like walks around with a sniper gun into like a forest where the cult is, and it plays in like different level missions where you have one bullet and you need to kill the whole camp with this one bullet. So basically, like every time you hit a character, you can like recalibrate your bullet where it goes. Then you can like use things like a slow down, speed up, like a bending bullet in the air. You can always play it from the POV of the bullet. Like fire it and then like it goes. And that's cool because it essentially becomes like a little puzzler. It's like, okay, this guy now stands behind a crate. What do I do? Then like, oh yeah, you can like shoot little animals or like lamps, like put electricity somewhere. And it's cool. It has like a nice, like very gritty style to it. And I had a good fun with it. I think I played through it in like a week, 2 weeks. Yeah, the Children of the Sun. Very cool, very unique thing of like bullet POV puzzler game.
Nice. Been a good year for like factory games this year. I've had a lot to feast on. Satisfactory 1.0 finally came out after like 5 years of early access. And that's a really polished game. That's a really good, like, if you need, like, kind of, like, automation and factory building games, Satisfactory 1.0 is in a really good state. I'm really happy with it. It's one of those games that I never, like, fully finish. I'll, like, do a good chunk of it. I'll put, like, 100 hours into a save and then drop off before I actually get to the endgame stuff. But, like, always really enjoy myself to the fullest. Shapes 2 came out, which is like Shapes 1 is like a 2D like logistics factory sort of automation game, and for like the last like 3 or 4 years they've been doing like dev diaries for like a 3D version, and Shapes 2 is that. It's a really cool take on the first game. I also played Tectonica, which is like a more story driven factory style game, with like more destroyable environments than something like Satisfactory, and like some really creative, very ways they build factories. It isn't just like putting down a machine that makes a thing. It's like, oh, you attach all these bits that do this. It's quite a fun take on it. That was one I played co-op. And not a factory game, but the current season, I think it's been out for a while now, of Deep Rock Galactic's pretty fun. If you're ever in need of a casual co-op shooter-style game, Deep Rock Galactic's a good looter.
I played the indie game of the year this year. I played Belantro.
Ah,
Yes.
the casino game.
Yeah, it's gambling. Yeah, no, it's
Straight to AC.
it's very simple, but it's very easy to play and get into. It's a lot of
Uh-huh.
fun. It's sort of like deck building style game where you have a deck as well as like sort of modifiers that you have to stack and organize yourself and sort of keep a track of and swap in and out because of limited slots, and you sort of try to like bulk up or trim down your deck in a certain direction, and it's down to luck, but it's pretty easy to like finish a run and you'll be done with it, or if you lose a run it's not too bad, you're not spent an hour on like a run or whatever to lose at the last blind. It's not a game that's trying to like trick you or like waste your time. It wants you to play a run, have a good time, and beat it ideally, and I think that's sort of why it's been really successful.
Yeah, the mobile port was when I got into it, because I think it's very fun to play on your phone, because you can drag your cards to somewhere and then it confirms or either cancels or something, so you don't need to click on something, which was I think the PC controls. So it gives like a very nice flow of like yeet this left or right or up and down.
You can drag cards around on PC as well.
Oh, okay, nice. So that's good to know. But yeah, they're very fun on the phone. It lost a little bit of steam for me because I was just like hitting walls on a few challenges, because you can like play normally, but then you get like, okay, this deck doesn't have face cards, so this deck you get like jokers that cannot be cancelled or sold anymore. But I think like these challenges are not very fun anymore. Like I feel like I've reached the edges of what I can do without having to look up guides or things to like get support from. Yeah, but Valor 2 super fun. Can recommend to anyone. Stuff goes brrr, numbers go up. It's very satisfying when you like have a build together that works. And then you think like, ha 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 ha, I am unbeatable, and then you crush against some type of anti that just kills you. But it's good stuff. Can recommend. I think it's like €10 on mobile, or like 9. It's probably similar or less on PC. Like you will have a lot of content to go through.
Yeah.
Another
like
go
go for it.
Just saying, I might have to jump in about 10 to 15 minutes, but I think
That's right,
we can finish music yet.
Music we can do in like 5 minutes.
Yeah,
Music
I
is
can
just
run
kind of
off a list
mentioned
of
made.
albums.
Last couple of games for me. Dragon's Dogma 2 came out, my like most anticipated game for so long, and my PC can't run it. The game is so poorly optimized. It's so sad. I bought it like on release. They have done some patches apparently that make it a little more stable, but it may be. I think I've reached the point with my PC that an upgrade is going to be necessary. I've already accepted I can't play the new Monster Hunter this year, so like, when I've got the money, I will probably upgrade. I'll be able to play Dragon's Dogma 2. And then the other game, because we were talking about kind of like roguelike stuff, Rabbit and Steel is a really cool. The concept is, what if you could do MMORPG dungeon style raids, but without playing an MMO? And it's a roguelike. You can play it solo or with like a team of 4, where you just you do like like a boss rush of different like MMO raid style levels. And you like every few levels you get like randomized loot. You can like upgrade certain abilities. There's like a bunch of classes. There's like a dozen classes almost, and they're upgrading more stuff soon, updating stuff more soon. And yeah, really cool. We've beaten it on normal. Hard is proving we can beat each level individually on hard, but doing a full run has proved quite difficult. And then there's a whole difficulty above that. But if you're in the mood for like a kind of quick. Like, sometimes some of our runs are like 15 minutes and then we get booted back to the main menu. So, like, it's quite a nice, like, sit down and do a couple runs before bed sort of game. But yeah, that's a pretty cool game that came out this year. I'm really excited to see more of that. Any more games, or if we finished video games forever?
I'll rattle off another couple.
I got some to rattle off as well.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, this year I got really into. I think I mentioned it at the start of the year as well. Like competitive Pokemon doubles,
Oh, yeah.
the doubles format, which was a lot of fun. It sort of
Nice.
saw a big surgence this year, and it had sort of for a few months a really good entry point, which I could sort of finally build up and play stuff on cartridge, which was like a format with a lot of the legendaries banned, a lot of the restricted Pokemon banned. So like I didn't have to buy the DLC for the previous game to
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I was seeing stuff about like
which was
competitive
nice.
Pokemon right now, and it's like in the format where like legendaries were allowed, it's like, okay, yeah, you've got to go and buy these games so that you have a chance of getting these encounters, and you obviously need to reset like a billion times to get like the right stats. So the like the more limited format sounds really cool for that.
Yeah, there was a lot more team variety, which is like frustrating in some ways because you have to learn way more. But it
Yeah.
also meant like if you had a little Scrungus that you wanted to try out using, you could, which was nice. So it was a lot of fun to like build around like guys that I like that are fun. That just like now in the new format kind of don't do anything. But I'm still trying to keep up with it, so I'll hopefully I'll stick with it. I did play some like bits and pieces of like those interesting Pokemon fan game concepts out this year, like Pokerogue on the roguelike thing. I didn't like it to begin with, but the game sort of had some updates, had some patches, and later in the year I was sort of able to meet halfway, and I was able to sort of finish a few runs, and it's all right. It's a decent resetting. Like
Pokerogue is like top of the list of games that I played at work. So
it's a great game to play on my phone at work.
it's a great game to play on company time.
Yeah. But of course, I did play the best game of all time every year, all years, forevermore. I played Halo with the boys, of course.
Nice.
Halo with the boys is game of the year every year.
What else do you need?
You don't. You can boot up any Halo game with like free. The boys, gender neutral term. The boys, anyone.
Is that the official title? Halo with the boys.
Sure glad
Halo
they
with
stopped
the
making
boys.
them after Halo 4. Yeah.
I maybe have something that probably not worth mentioning, but I was looking for like a new kind of gacha for my phone, because Fate Grand Order is like slowly teetering out. Like I don't have fun playing that anymore. And my previous one that I had, which was Uta no Prince Sama Shining Life, which was the Husbandu Tamagotchi, but also rhythm game, that just got ended, I think, 2 years ago. It's just like, yep, we stopped doing the English support, fuck you, and the Japanese one then as well. And the new game is just awful. Yeah, so end of service. Goodbye. So I was looking around left and right, and I found Arknights for myself. It's a tower defense game. Where the initial thing that drew me to it was like, oh my god, it has fun designs for male characters, and there's like even variety in those. Oh my god. And yeah, I'm having a lot of fun, because for one, it is very nice with like giving out currency for you. You can play it free to play if you want to. But yeah, the gacha is fun. The gameplay is very fun and challenging. I like putting my little blobos on the map with like different skills. You have people who can move things. You have loopers who like shoot out a projectile that comes back. I have like a big fun tiger man in a suit that like punches people across the map. So it's great. It's fun. And I initially started this game because I knew there was a Delicious in Dungeon crossover announced. And that will come out in next month or in 2 months. We don't know yet, no specific time given. But it was like, oh yeah, I also like the artwork of this, and they look great in Delicious in Dungeon artwork as well. So yeah, I'm fine that I have finally found a game that is not after my money and just
Yeah.
lets me do.
I have heard that
tower.
Arknights is like one of the best of those, like in terms of like player experience, not feeling like you're being ripped off. Like it's obviously still a gacha, but it's like, you know,
Mhm.
if you've got to pick one, that's a pretty good one to go for apparently.
Yeah, and I'm very happy about this. So yeah, Arknights is now my fun little game to like have my little skirmishes and battles in.
Nice.
Yeah.
Any more video games?
I played New Vegas this year.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, same.
But it's something you just say every year. Yeah, I played some New Vegas.
Okay.
Great.
Hell yeah, bro. I can do some quick ones. I played a lot of Hades 2 in early access.
Oh yeah.
That's looking pretty incredible in terms of
Yeah.
just like doubling the amount of shit you can do. Compared
Yeah, I'm
to
gonna
the
hold up
first
until
game.
it's like out, but I'm very excited.
Yeah, I don't do early access either, but you know, as someone that
I don't
100
usually,
hours into Hades 1, yeah.
but just couldn't resist this time.
Yeah.
I think it's getting there though. Like it should hopefully release soon fully. I also did like the Yakuza game Infinite Wealth, which took me like 3 attempts throughout the year to complete, but I did eventually.
Yeah. I've heard the plot is a bit of a step down in that one.
Yeah. I mean, I struggle with like Yakuza plots in general because like it's so the storytelling is always so exposition heavy, and this one takes quite a while to get going. But I just love that cast of characters so much.
Yeah.
Ichiban is like the most likable dude, and all the other middle-aged people that you run around with and beat up other people on the street. I also did like ignore most of these side activities, but there's like some ridiculous shit in there. Like you can just play like Yakuza Animal Crossing or Yakuza Pokemon.
Oh yes.
It's like full blown like dozens of hours of extra content if you want it. My favorite game of the year I mentioned last episode is probably still like Shin Megami Tensei 5. I did also start playing Metaphor Refantasio like this week, so I'm not. It's like I'm 15 hours in, so I'm still in the tutorial. That one's pretty funny because it's literally just fucking Persona 6 in everything, but like the setting. It took a lot of restraint for Atlas to not just call it Persona something. Respected has the thing that stands out the most to me at the moment is like the soundtrack is like orchestral, very different from the Persona games, and it's so fun that the language for it is like Esperanto.
Yes.
Which connected to the game's themes and all.
Would you believe this is the second time we've talked about Esperanto specifically on Garcast?
Really?
Yeah.
What was the first? I don't remember.
I don't remember. I think Alan and I got into talking about Esperanto like on some.
It was I think something about the movie being shot
Random
in it,
episode.
or yeah.
Apparently, a lot of the
I know,
symbols
cool.
that are in the game are also like Esperanto letters, but like, I mean, I don't know. I don't actually speak it, but it's just a neat. And also a special shout out to a little indie game called Skald Against the Black Priory. It's like a very old school like CRPG with very Lovecraftian dire storytelling. One of my online artist friends, Gustav, also known as Mecha Barbarian, absolutely god tier pixel artist, did some work on that. It looks really striking. It's just like a good time. It's not too long. It costs like $10,
Nice.
and you can get like
Yeah,
20 hours of old school RPG gameplay.
Nice. Yeah, I already bought it after seeing you post about it because these aesthetics are the peak.
Yeah,
Great.
yeah. Like everything that goes on in like a dialogue box, and they have like 1 or 2 images accompanying it is like looks amazing.
Should we quickly round up music?
Yeah.
Because,
Yeah.
my new PC is delivered today.
Oh, nice.
And
Oh wow.
yeah, this is still on the old one, so also send off for my little lad here for over 7 years that supported me.
One more Garcast for the road.
Yes. Music, I can already say, my album of the year is Winter Sun Time 2. Because it finally came out after 25 years. And it's great.
real.
And I love it. Yeah, it's real.
The Winter Sun Time 2 is real.
Finally. Yeah, it's the good kind of the music that I like. I also tend to fall asleep on it in the train positively, because it just is a wall of sound that protects you against all other sound that is around you, and that is great. It's fantastic. Quick mentions are Ensiferum brought out a new album called Winterstorm, which I liked it, but it's more of a concept album with story in it, so I feel like this songs, it makes more sense as the whole thing, but I don't feel myself like being drawn to the singular songs. It's like 1 and 2. Thalassic remains my favorite Ensiferum album. And the Akaria, the Finnish hyperpop man who still lives rent-free in my head, he finally released the album called People's Champion, which is a compilation of the singles he brought out last years, including Cha Cha Cha, and some new tracks that are absolutely great. It's fantastic. I love this guy and his music, and thank you very much for giving me very much gender euphoria and other fun things. That concludes my music for that year.
So you listen to 100% only Finnish music this year?
Yes, true. These are all just Finnish artists. Yep. I present to you my Finnish bouquet of things I've listened to. Thank you very much.
Good job, Finland.
Shout out Finland.
Shout out Finland.
Shout out Finland.
Didn't listen to a whole lot last year. I like the Everything Everything album a lot. I think it's maybe their best since the Get to Heaven. Maybe, I don't know. I go back and forth on that.
I'm a huge fan of some of the albums in between.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah.
The Proceeds after Get to Heaven. I really like that one, but I forget the name, so I kind of love it that much.
I liked the Richie with a T solo album from Injury Reserve. There's a bunch of different shades of every era of Injury Reserve in that. Pakakori on production. I'm just really excited to see what those boys do in the wake of Injury Reserve ending. I liked the new Vince Staples. I've not really kept up with a lot of Vince Staples stuff recently, but I heard people really praising his new one, and I had to get on it. I think the last one I listened to was it AM, FM, whichever that one was. It was his one after Big Fish. It was the last one I actually gave a full listen to. But yeah, really, really interesting album. Really compelling.
No, I really like that album. It was in one that was in my rotation sort of for the later half of the year. Really enjoyed it. Same with the Schoolboy Q album, which is a bit different,
also
bit of a change, but that was a lot of fun.
Yeah. Similar vein. I liked the new Mike and Tony Seltzer album Pinball. I listened to I forget what the name of it is. The album he released in 2023 that everyone liked a lot. That people were comparing a lot to Earl's Some Rap Songs, which is heavy ass album but really good. And I liked the new one a lot more low key. The track on there with Oh Sweatshirt has been in my head the whole year. I liked Boa, the band that did the Zero Experiments Lane opening. They released a new album this year. Yeah. That was it's absolutely on par with the album that the Zero Experiments Lane opening's from. Just really good, that era of rock music. And then Mutual's shout out Buchanan, Rat King Into Darkness, really cool ambient record from her. and Amber, one of my mutuals, is in a band called Water Wishes, and they released like a live like demo album towards the start of the year. So that's really cool. Big fan of cool people doing cool things.
Yeah, I listened to the new Lupe Fiasco album as well
Oh,
this
yeah.
year. I can't tell if I like it or not because every time I listen to it, I'm like, love you, Lupe Fiasco. Brat was obviously the big album of the year. A lot of people didn't like it. A lot of people loved it. I fell into the loved it camp. I think there's a lot to love there.
Mm-hmm.
Good energy, a lot of fun.
It's good.
Yeah. The new Orville Peck album was
Yeah.
good. I think it's a little bit like, I don't want to say call it messy because that feels quite rude, but it just doesn't.
It
feels a
can't.
bit all over the place
Yeah,
with
it
the
kind of
collabs
is
and
messy.
stuff.
Yeah, I think him
but
like
it had a
emulating
kind
the yeah
It had a
emulating the like the artist he's working with doesn't always work. I think for like a cohesive listen, but when it works, it works.
Yeah. The new Guy Scavara EP was quite good. I like how over the years he's been able to sort of hone in on a sound that's more unique to him. Like I love Black Bolshevik, but it's very it's not derivative, but it's very clear like the inspirations of things like Injury Reserve and Kanye, whereas this sort of Doechi EP was pretty good. I'm glad that blew up. She's really good. I'm glad she's getting some recognition.
Yeah.
And I've got like a half dozen like New Zealand albums I could rattle off as well if people are interested. But,
go for it.
Dangerous Data Would Be a Cold One by Darts. It's a punk band from Wellington who I've seen live too many times. And it's still definitely a punk album, but the way the guitars are going, it's probably got a little bit more of that pop punk rock kind of vibe going, but it's a purely unapologetic, piece. You're a piece of trash, 20-something in New Zealand kind of punk album. So it speaks a lot. Speaks very well to me. There was the new Ulcerate album. I listened to a metal album this year, guys.
Let's go.
Yeah. As well as there was an Earth Tongue, which was a melodic metal, fuzz metal kind of group. Again, also out of Wellington. And I don't like the newest album as much as some of their old stuff, but it's very good. Swit It put out an album, like a New Zealand rap group. Again, I probably can't separate my nostalgia for that group from anything they do, but I think it was a pretty good album. The cover looks a little bit like AI stuff, so I just sort of choose to ignore that.
Yeah.
Of a more modern band, like in slightly newer bands, Troy Kingy put out Leatherman and the Mojave Green. 660 albums came out this year as well, which are reggae groups in New Zealand, which is a very specific style of reggae and rock and pop sort of all combined together. It's a very good listen, I thought. And there was a new project by Mokotron. It's drum and bass.
Nice.
Yeah. And that's most of the albums I care to talk about. I could bring up the new Kendrick album, but everyone's listened to that. I could bring up the new Kanye albums, but I didn't listen to those.
Yeah. And I don't think I will.
No. Every song I've seen of them is not that great. I guess one last thing is the new MGMT album, an album I didn't like much to begin with that brought me a lot over the year.
Oh, the new Denzel Curry as well. That's good.
Oh yeah, that's
I'm
right.
always a lot more into Denzel Curry when he's doing the more mixtape era stuff than his more heady stuff. And this is just a full album of him just with a bunch of features doing like Florida rap stuff. Big fan.
It's a ton of fun.
Yeah. There's Denzel Curry is a guy who he's been pretty like anti-Trump and stuff in the past, but he sure will like collab with Waka Flocka Flame and like that Mexican OT, who are like Trumpers, like they are just like pro-Trump.
Yeah.
So I'm not even gonna like, when it comes to like any kind of political stuff from him, it's like I know you just don't care, so I'm just gonna like it's like whenever he's just doing bangers, it's bangers. I'm on board.
Nice. Boris, do you have one more?
So I actually went ahead and wrote down like a small list last night,
Nice.
just to like get a little bit of a spread of shit on here instead of just rattling off like a dozen death metal albums. There's still gonna be some death metal albums on there. So the most recent entry that I have is like Charlie Crockett $10 Cowboy is like the one designated country album I get to like per year, which it passes my like New Vegas test where I can imagine listening to it in New Vegas. Has some neat like soul influences. Apparently this guy like just bangs out music like an album every year at least. But this might be like the breakout. The album I listened to the most this year was Dal by Artemis, which is like a K-pop album. I don't listen to too much K-pop. I think this is my favorite K-pop album now. It doesn't have any bad songs. I always struggle with like K-pop albums when they go into the ballads, and I didn't have the problem here. It's very catchy, cool, some slightly experimental pop stuff. Next one is I'm gonna butcher the pronunciation. Sompantli, Beating the Drums of Ancestral Force is like a impossibly heavy doom death album with like Aztec history theming to it. Apparently most of the band members have that kind of background, I guess. Someone on the album plays an instrument called the Aztec Death Whistle, which I don't know what that is, but that's like the most metal name for an instrument I've ever heard. Next one I have next one is One Step Closer. The album is All You Embrace. This is like immensely catchy emo post-hardcore where it just like actually hits my emotional core. It's kind of sad, but still kind of like optimistic and full of like youthful energy. Really hope to catch these guys live at some point and just like sing along and cry to all the songs.
Nice.
Next one is my favorite death metal album of the year, is like Manual Manic Procedures by 200 Stab Wounds. It's a very specific amount of stab wounds. This is like death metal just as I like it. It's like groovy, it's heavy, it has perfect production, it's like fucking caveman bullshit. Just heavy riffs. I can imagine swinging a club around to this. Rope Sect released an album. Those are like my goats. I think they're doing like slightly longer songs is like the main sort of innovation for this one. I think it actually fits the style decently well. Also the singer released like 2 EPs recently of like his Grinning God side project, which is like similar to Rope Sect but leans more overtly into the black metal influences.
Mm-hmm.
Poppy released an album. Negative Spaces. This is like
I forgot you're like the world's biggest Poppy fan.
I wouldn't say that, but I really like this one. It's like the most metal she has ever gone. Just sort of like a perfect pop metal release. Very catchy. Poppy goes bleh on one of the songs. It's pretty cool. Chapel of Disease released an album called Echoes of Light. These guys are like the Dire Straits of death metal, who will just like break out into 7-minute guitar jam sessions in the middle of a song, and like at this point they're not even that death metal anymore, so it's just like Dire Straits metal. Yeah, I thought they broke up, but apparently they came back around and released this album. Very happy about that. Dödsrit released an album called Celestial Will. I think this is the closest I have to a definitive album of the year. It's a band I liked for quite a while now. They've been doing like a sort of crust punk black metal blend, but this is like much more melodic, and they just write exactly the kind of melodic black metal riffs I want to hear. And sometimes the songs are 10 minutes long, and that's okay. Next one I have is Ali. I think you've listened to this one as well. No Hands by JVD. Joy Valence and Bray.
Yeah. That rocks. Yeah.
I'm very funny album, like a lot of Beastie Boys energy on it.
Yeah.
Very obvious influence. I never know where to like draw the line with like hip hop and like comedy rap, because I think hip hop is like the funniest music genre in general, just on account of all the wordplay. This is like overtly very silly, but it's a blast.
Yeah.
Bing chillin'. Blood Incantation, Absolute Elsewhere is a band I couldn't get into for a while. They finally clicked with this one. This is more open about the 60s like prog rock influences, and also they released one of like their best metal music video ever to go with it, and I think that helped a lot.
Yeah.
And the last entry I have, and this is like a style of metal I don't even gravitate towards usually, like a blackened speed metal type of thing, but this band is local to me, so I have to shout them out. They're called Death Racer. The album is From Gravel to Grave. It's like Formula Racing themed speed metal. They're from Linz, which is like the town over from me. I went to see them live. They had a bunch of like racing props and wore helmets during the show. It was pretty fun. It was like a very, very tight, like 30 square meter space, seeing them. And again, not usually my kind of metal, but for this style, it's about as good as it gets. And yeah, that's about it.
Ooh, nice. Yeah. Then I think we have the whole year 2024 together.
It's done.
Yay. And now let's hope that this year is okay. Good.
Low bar. Low
That's
bar.
It's not looking great, but let's hope for the best.
Yes. Yeah, so I think all of our viewers who are here, I think it's just one, which is probably my own window, but we are all on Blue Sky now for obvious reasons, Garcast as well, and you can find us there on our Discord as usual, and I'm very happy to be doing this every year. Really,
yeah.
I keep my media threads now. I keep my notes, my letterbox, so that I can like get together for like this little yearly thing
fun.
that we have.
It's always fun.
Yes, it is, and we are already planning on the James Bond Garcast to come next, headed by dear Tom.
I'll have to check in after this and sort of see what everyone's planning on watching.
Oh yeah.
We might even hit another like 2-episode Garcast year.
Yes.
That'd be sick.
Can you imagine it?
If you
Yeah.
can believe it.
It's a Friday once again. Rest in peace, David Lynch, by the way. Fuck, man.
Oh yeah, that was, yeah. I still haven't seen Twin Peaks season 3. That's what I will do soon. I think I will rewatch season 1 and 2 first, and the movie, and then go up
Yeah.
into 3.
I've only seen Dune, but David Lynch seems like a chill guy, and
Yeah.
R.I.P.
I liked his number of the
Mulholland
day
Drive
and
is
all that stuff.
Probably the one that I actually enjoy the most. It's very very good.
Nice. Yeah, so I think that's it from us this time.
Happy 2025 to everyone.
Yeah, have a good year, hopefully. Let's give our best. And we gonna do it. And we will be back soon with some James Bond, some probably other fun unhinged stuff, and then at the latest for the year in review 2025.
Yeah. Alright. I
Yeah,
will
so then
end the stream now. Unless everyone's got like a last
okay.
word.